Your eyes can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Is there a problem, people? Put another gay-diverse woman in it, make it more fucking lame!
Or choose another path, beyond what we see.
Then we must look for it. Together.
You serious?
An evil, ancient and powerful, has returned.
Yes, yes.
Prepare yourselves.
Yeah. Very, very exciting, Jack. Some close calls, huh? But you've done all right for yourself. What do you want? Oh, I want money, Jack. I wish that I had some loftier purpose, but I'm afraid in the end it's just the money, Jack. I would like large, non-sequential bills in 2 clear plastic bags, unmarked. Can you remember all that?
It's Hollywood, baby.
Delivery complete. Engage.
Delivery complete. It's a go. It's a go. Eagle 1. Box 3.
Gentlemen, this is it. Come on, come on, come on. Virus ineffective. Disengage. Get your people out of there.
Disengage. Rear flank follows suit.
Hold on, Command. I want another shot at it. Sir, I strongly recommend you disengage.
Eagle 1. Fox 3. It's a hit. Squadron leaders, fire at will, fire at will, fire at will.
We're going in. Squadron leaders, take point.
Eagle 6 at 7.
Eagle 5 at 3.
Eagle 1.
Fox 2.
Eagle 20. Box 2.
Now, to tell you the truth, I'm sort of burnt out on talking about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's just a job, really, you know, something to keep me moving. My real passion is my hobby.
Really? What's that?
I work with retards.
Isn't that a little politically, incorrect?
Well, the hell with that. No one's gonna tell me who I can and can't work with, right?
No, I mean...
We got this one kid.
Leslie Headland.
He's got a forehead like a drive-in movie theater, but he's a good shit. So we don't bust his chops too much.
Is there a problem, people?
Beavis, we gotta find something that floats and get in that river.
Yeah, really.
Something that floats.
Whoa, check it out, butthead.
Beavis, this is our lucky day.
I'm the best.
Ow!
Yeah! Ow, 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 ow.
Take a guess.
I don't know, you tell me.
All right. You think we just warehouse it on the books? No. We just repackage it with a bunch of other shit that didn't sell and put it into a CDO.
A CDO?
Yes, a CDO.
What is that?
This is where we take a bunch of Bs, double Bs, and triple Bs that haven't sold, and we put them in a pile. And when the pile gets large enough, the whole thing is suddenly considered diversified. And then the whores at the rating agency give it a 92, 93% AAA rating. No questions asked.
What would you say you do here?
Well, look, I already told you. I deal with the goddamn customers so the engineers don't have to. I have people skills. I am good at dealing with people. Can't you understand that? What the hell is wrong with you people?
You're fired. Get out of here.
Sorry. No, 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 no. Why? Put another gay diverse woman in it. Make it more fucking lame.
The power of one. The power of two. The power of many.
Yes, yes.
What?
You gotta answer this. You gotta.
How do you think Leslie Headland got the green light for the Acolyte?
Oh, you gotta give him that huck to and spit on that thing. You get me?
Want to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback? Go yourself.
All right, welcome back for the last Thirsty Thursdays of 2024. I hope everybody enjoyed that best of 2024 memes in the intro, and we've got a whole lot to talk about. Best and worst of 2024, but first, no.
I already opened mine.
I know you
messed up.
You jumped the gun, Kyle. You jumped the gun
too early. Yeah.
I got my. It actually is a little bittersweet. It's the last pumpkin beer that I have. So
Ew, nasty.
Oh, pumpkin! It's called Pumpkin Pie Ale from the Fry Brewing Company.
Nope. I don't like pumpkin anything, so that's gross. That sounds gross.
It's a little like cidery, but all right, that'll work. So how's everybody? Oh, and we've got a new panelist that we've usually been doing mystery movie nights with, and that is Mr. Deleted Scenes. Welcome, Deleted Scenes.
Who deleted himself, unfortunately.
Up there in the corner,
he really did
thing
delete
is
himself.
covered out.
I just saw that.
What happened?
Well, we'll wait for him to come back, but we've only got half of Hard Cut. This time not Bobby, but Matt.
Hi.
Which is a first for that other half.
It is.
Yep.
Indeed.
This is my solo debut. So.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you've got
guys.
an awesome background.
Thank you. That's the home theater setup right there.
Okay, so this is a separate room from the studio.
Yeah. So the studio is like over there.
Right over there.
Off the well, you can't see it, but like it wraps around over there.
Oh,
upstairs is really weird. So I'll have to give it a tour at some point.
Well, those tour videos actually work very, very well on YouTube for views.
Yeah, that's we've been told. So
yeah, but it's the end of 2024.
Oof.
I don't know how everybody feels about that. Good year, bad year.
Good riddance.
Good riddance. Yeah, good riddance. Yeah. All right.
Shitty movies this year.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Oh, I know.
Has
This
been a
is
bit
year that's
lackluster.
had a lot of
in the
ups
movie
and
front.
downs, socially, cinematically, politically.
Yeah, I mean,
It's been
etc.
It's felt pretty tumultuous, a little bit scary, if I'm being honest.
A little bit.
I've had the best year of my life, but that's completely independent from almost having World War III, and I realize that's selfish. But yeah.
Well, glad it's going well for you, Badger. I mean,
Went real
as
quick.
far as personally, it's going.
Yeah, personally it's going
okay,
great.
but
For the world, it
the
was-
stuff
it was
outside,
careful for a while there,
exactly, yeah,
Edgy.
sure.
So what's been so good about your year, Badger, other than your many appearances on The Critical Drinker?
Oh no, dreams literally came true. I went from not having a YouTube channel to starting it and getting to work with all my heroes and getting to go to fan meetups and I've met some of my best friends now. It's been a great year. personally. Everything else, but even that, if I look at it, yeah, we've had some horrible things, but also we've seen a significant shift in the culture and acknowledgement of how horrible things have gotten, and I have a great deal of hope for the future.
Yeah. I mean, I've been saying it ever since Top Gun Maverick came out 2 years ago that I think we're emerging from the dark age of cinema. Like it was like glimmers of hope. And now I think we're coming out. Like next year, it's like we're going to be done with it.
Can I challenge you on that?
Yeah, it's going to take a long time. We're going to have to be real loud and vocal for a while.
100%.
Yeah,
we're not going to let up. But did you think that we're just going to stop YouTube?
Some are.
I'm not. Sorry, Kyle, you were saying?
I had a question because you say if we're getting out of that, how come at the beginning of your videos do you say, "Join me as we go into the dumpster fire that is modern Hollywood"?
I mean, because it still is a dumpster
It's still,
fire.
yeah, it definitely still
a
is.
dumpster fire.
I mean, see some people with like fire extinguishers, kinda, but they got to wade through a bunch of shit to get to the dumpster fire, and then
yeah.
Am I seeing this the same as everyone else? Is the Thirsty Thursday covering up sin?
Yeah, it was covering up deleted earlier, and then no,
unacceptable.
I got it.
Wow.
That was my mistake. Had some stupid ass logo there. There we go. Now everybody could see sin.
Oh dear.
In all her glory.
Oh no.
Hates women.
Right. Yeah. We all hate women. Right.
Probably not a coincidence you put her in that corner.
Right in the corner. Put me in the corner.
Front row center, I guess, next time.
In the corner.
So is it just Sin and I? Because I just decided this morning I forgot that I was supposed to. And then like last minute, I'm like, should I review another Landman episode or go see Craven? And I'm like, I'm going to go see Craven.
You hate yourself.
I saw Craven. I did a review of it right before this.
Already? Oh, wow.
I did because I don't have a shit ton to say about it. I didn't hate it. I wasn't enamored with it, but it didn't piss me off. I'm sure that fans of Craven, because I only have a peripheral knowledge of him. Back when I read comics, I knew of him, but I didn't know a lot about him.
Yeah.
So maybe fans of his character won't like whatever changes they've made.
I mean,
and I'll completely get that but Rotten Tomatoes 15%.
It's
not that bad.
I would give it like a 6 out of 10.
Yeah,
maybe.
I give it about a 3.25 out of 5, and I might lower it if I watch it again. And
yeah. So
I liked it better than the Venom movies, I liked it better than Captain Marvel. So
I think what
I know it's a low bar.
I know it's a low bar.
I know, Badger, but still, it's not 15% worthy hate. That's why kind of I don't understand.
It was like 9
thing
when it first came out.
It in my mind, I still need to like think about it, but in my mind, it had a plot, like however convoluted and stupid it was, and it did have character development. So those are the two things I've been complaining about for the past 2 years. So.
Yeah, it's not so action heavy that I felt desensitized to it, and it did feel like they at least tried, as opposed to some movies, So well, I just can't hate it.
Yeah, I mean it was fun. Like I like I like I always keep saying Anya.
Not Taylor as good as Nosferatu.
Yeah, well, yeah. You're gonna.
Well, there was some eye candy for sure. Holy cow, that guy is jacked. Lord have mercy.
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
But it's so jacked. It's a little cringe to me when they do it. When they do that just so they can show. I was just like,
I mean, you know what they have to do to make your abs look like that. You got to dehydrate for like 48 hours.
Oh yeah.
And then do 100 crunches, shoot the scene.
It's more than 100. You have to do some, a lot of dehydration going on.
Did he say it's Craven time?
No, he didn't, fortunately.
Missed opportunity. That sucks.
I mean, there was a lot of there was fan service because I don't know how familiar you are.
He does fan service.
There was a little bit, yeah. So they kept mentioning this doctor in New York.
And they said his name, but I forgot.
Fan service is
Miles Warren,
referencing like their other failed Sonyverse movies.
Yeah. So, and I'm actually glad that they brought up Miles Warren and Badger. I'd love to get into this with you. I seriously didn't mind the storyline from the comic books relating to Miles Warren. So for everybody's background, Miles Warren basically I forget. I mean, because I didn't have any of these comic books, but he was like involved in the death of Gwen Stacy, and then in the early to mid 90s, it was after Maximum Carnage, so it was like mid 90s, 94, 95. There was a major storyline in the Spider-Man comic books called Maximum Clonage, where this guy Miles Warren cloned Peter Parker, and then they didn't know which one was the clone. And so then this guy, Ben Reilly, started being the Scarlet Spider versus like the real Spider-Man, which I don't know. I actually enjoyed that convoluted as fuck storyline. But then again, I was 12, so who knows? I'm glad they brought him up.
They brought him up in the Kraven movie where it's not Kraven, it's his son, and Spider-Man doesn't exist.
I don't know about Spider-Man not existing, because they
don't mention him at all, I don't think.
But they did have.
Okay.
I should go and like, because it flashed so quickly that I couldn't really see. But they did the Daily Bugle. So that's Spider-Man.
Let me just ask you a question then, because this is the last one, right? They've already said it's the last one, and the director said, "Please go see our movie because it'll make up for all the other bad ones." Did it make up for all the other bad ones?
I mean, it
made up for Madam Web.
Made up for Madam Web.
It wasn't as bad as Madam Web.
It definitely wasn't as bad as.
It wasn't as bad as Morbius. So,
but you know, as far as the stuff that happened at the end with some of the character or some of the setup for a particular character, I felt like, I don't know if when they made this movie, if they knew that this was absolutely going to be this is it.
Right.
So my feeling was, what was the point of even this happening since it's over? We're not going to have any sort of.
It was probably greenlit to coincide with that Sinister Six movie that they kept planning.
Yeah, when was this supposed to originally come out? Like a couple years ago, right? Or last year?
Yeah. And so
they kept pushing it.
They had. Spoiler alert, they had the Rhino, Chameleon, and Kraven the Hunter in this. I don't know who the hell the guy that was like the mind reader guy. I don't know who the fuck that was.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was.
They did change one little lore thing, which I'm like, they kind of just shrugged it off. Calypso's like profession. She was like a scientist, especially like in the 90s animated series. She was involved in like making the serum and whatever.
She's just an attorney in here.
Yeah, and she's just a lawyer in this movie. I didn't mind her. She was, pretty inoffensive. She does look like one of my friend's wives. So I hope he's not watching, so I can't say anything. But
she was all right. I mean, she didn't bother me.
It was inoffensive. Yeah.
I mean, I knew watching it that I was glad that I didn't know so much about these characters, because if I went into it with this idea of what I felt like it should be, I would probably be much less satisfied with it than I was.
Nadia's in the house.
Nadia.
Hey, Nadia.
Falling down a mountain right now or something. She did a rough and tumble. She's fine. Sorry, she's my frenemy. I think the idea was
Nadia? Wait, were you on the stream when she was on the stream, Badger?
No, I know Nadia through different circles. It's funny. I was sort of like, how does Nadia? Did you see who is it? Yeah. I was, look, Nadia, you get around, don't you, girl?
It's better than Morpheus.
I think they couldn't figure out who they wanted to be their Spider-Man. It was supposed to be Tom Holland, and then No Way Home came out, and they're like, oh shit, we like Andrew Garfield, and then they kept fighting, and then the fighting over who could do what when, and now it's now we just get the Tom Holland movie.
Yeah, Megan, I think you were referring to Morbius.
Morbius, yes.
Yeah. That's a different franchise.
Morbius is totally different. Yes, it's better than that movie.
So speaking of Morpheus, like in my review, I think I'm going to put in a little Matrix scene. Spoiler alert, where Neo goes, "So I can dodge bullets." They basically couldn't make up their minds as to like what the superpower was that he had. And it just ended up looking really dumb. Like, he can dodge bullets and then he can climb buildings like Spider-Man.
Craven?
Like,
Isn't he
Craven? Or are you talking about Craven?
Yeah.
Isn't he like peak apex animal? He's just fast and strong.
Yeah,
and...
he's superhuman fast. He's like, he's like cat-like because he can climb and jump high and all
Yeah.
that.
So he's
do
the
all
predator with
he's
good
like
looks and
very
abs.
a lot of parkour type of stuff that his character was doing.
Yeah.
But I have to mention one thing, and I can't wait for Hardcut to like lay into this, but the CGI was just absurdly bad.
I'm sure it looks good.
It was like
With the
Gladiator
lion and
2
stuff.
level bad.
I don't understand why this is happening.
Yeah, right. It's
With
2024.
CGI.
Shouldn't CGI be like way better
You know
now?
what? They overwork the film effects. They don't have any cohesive vision. They tell them to make three different types of scenes, and then they change it, so they don't have time to go over final effects. When before you'd have one scene that they'd go over it for months and months and months. They're finishing this shit up to the last second. That's a lot of what Victoria Alonso was fired for. Was just the horrible effects that she failed to preside over and have continuity and keep them. And then it gives the like, what the hell? Effects from years ago look better. It's just because they had more time to work on it, and that's why you need people that don't get suited to death, don't get noted to death, and just like, nope, this is the scene. We're not fucking changing it, and then get months of work to texture.
That's all. That's all true. But I also think that it's a combination of that and just the fact that DEI has also affected the visual effects industry as well.
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah.
You overworked them, and you pushed out a bunch of the competent people. You put in a bunch of people from Tumblr. They know what the fuck they're doing, and then so you burn out the competent people, and then the people that come in that you think can do it and can't do it, then they leave too, and you're left with fucking no one, basically.
Yeah, one of the things I wanted to bring up with you, Badger, because it just came up in my feed today. So Disney is moving their headquarters to New York, and there's a new development over on the west side called Hudson Yards, and one of the buildings is now named the Robert Iger Building. Like, what the F? So narcissistic to like name a building after yourself when you're gonna be out.
Oh,
and, like,
Bob will never leave.
You think you were that good of a CEO?
Bob is the Putin of Disney. He'll leave, but then he won't leave. He'll just have he'll just come up with a new title to stay in his office, so he can just freely go into Walt's office and sit there and think. No, he'll never leave. Kathy will never leave.
I mean, so Kathy's contract is allegedly up in 2026 now?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. I mean, if they want to keep losing money and giving us views, by all means, let's go.
If you believe that big leak that just happened, they have heavy influence from GLAAD, and Kathy only cares about appeasing certain creatives like Damon Lindelof and JJ, who all have their activist beliefs.
Good fucking luck with that.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about that. I mean, they just don't learn their lesson.
I don't know who had some jingle right after you said that, but it was perfectly placed right after you said, good fucking luck with that. And it just went,
ding, ding. This happened the other day on a stream last night. It's my stupid. I'm in a clinical asthma study, clinical drug study, and it's this diary that dings to remind me I need to complete it before a certain amount of time.
Well,
I forget to mute
multiple usages to provide some score, some synchronicity.
I hope you accidentally get superpowers. Please use them for good.
Yeah. And speaking of superpowers, they couldn't figure out what the hell anybody's powers really were. The Rhino looked stupid AF. Like, it was the worst iteration of Rhino that I've
Paul
ever.
Giamatti?
I didn't mind Paul Giamatti in the fucking mech
I didn't mind that. Yeah,
I'm the Rhino.
I honestly I don't even remember what he looks like. I saw that movie once.
Yeah, it was because he had a bad CGI. It was like a prosthetic.
I thought he was in
that was the problem.
Yeah, he put like an actual
metal
mask because he didn't want to shave his head, and then they badly CGI fused it or whatever. They fudged out the mask lines.
I mean, Rhino is one of those villains where it's just gonna or Scorpion. It's gonna look stupid as hell on screen.
You could do it the right way, but
maybe not Scorpion. Maybe not Scorpion because they got Dr. Octopus correct in the Spider-Man movie, so maybe not.
Look at Spider-Man the game. Look at the remastered version.
Yeah.
It looks essentially live action. That is just how you would do it.
Yeah.
That version of
Spider-Man's
Rhino.
Rogues Gallery looks pretty stupid though. Like they don't really translate well to film, you know. So
It's hit or miss.
Yeah.
But when done right, they look dope.
My problem with the Rogues Gallery for Spider-Man is that at least the ones committed to film, every single one of them gives up autonomy or responsibility of their choices by making this accident that turns them crazy. And that pisses me off because then it makes so that there are these multiple personalities and we can't actually blame all the acts on them throughout the entire movie. And then at the end, like especially Doc Ock, what have I done? I will not die a monster. What the you just did all these horrible things, possibly even killed people, and throwing cars about NYC, and then he's all, whoops. They do that every single time.
You're totally right, because with the Green Goblin, it was the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing. That established that prototype,
right?
And then I think the
third movie,
the third one, right,
just a mess and a half.
It didn't have like an insanity thing, but it would just flip the characters because they were already in that mode of characterization where they would just flip. The Sandman, he just changes his mind at the end. Oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I forgive you.
Well,
like it was like a Sunday school message or some kind.
But I think that
and then he's off the hook and he flies away.
I think that's relegated to just the Sam Raimi trilogy, because in the Tom Holland movies, let's see, the Vulture, like his primary motivation was money. He was trying to make money off of the big event in Avengers or whatever.
Yeah, but then you can say he was just doing that for his family.
Right. No, but that's it's not
he didn't go crazy and then
he didn't
right. No, it was a willful act.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I forget the Andrew Garfield movies. One of them was The Lizard,
and then you had the Electro, who was kind of what Kyle was talking about.
Right. Yeah. I guess
that's the thing. The Amazing Spider-Man series, there are only two. They started with the lizard thing again, and it fucking happened again. It was like basically the Green Goblin mentality over again, where he went crazy. He turned into a lizard. But that's what I'm saying is it doesn't work when it's consistently like that, and you lose the autonomy of a bad guy making a decision. If Joker was like that, he went crazy and he's multiple personalities, it wouldn't be as strong.
That's literally what fucking Joker is in most depictions. He went crazy.
I'm talking about the movies, man. I'm talking about the movies.
Which one? There's a bunch of them. The fucking musical.
The best one being Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I mean, is there a better Joker than Heath Ledger? I don't think so.
I mean, it's a good depiction, but it's not exactly comic accurate. But yeah,
sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm not very familiar with DC comics. I was mainly a Marvel guy when I read comic books. But I will defer to the resident DC expert, Badger.
I think the point was most of these fucking villains are sympathetic villains, and so they're just being somewhat attached to the lore when they adapt them.
Well, like Hollywood has a problem with villains to begin with. Like once they had Tony Soprano as like that anti-hero prototype, then they kept trying to do that. And fine, you get Walter White, cool. You get, Don Draper, a whole bunch of them. But then they start screwing it up. And then you start rooting for, like, I don't know, Thanos. It's like, you know what? All these other characters are so annoying. I actually want Thanos to win. And he did.
Thanos actually had a compelling characterization and had a motivation that was understandable, but he was doing something that was extremely just wrong, right? But his motivations were relatable.
Yeah.
In a giant way of trying to balance the universe, but his methods are genocidal.
You still understood where he was coming from.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And the way that Brolin portrayed it was calm. He was never maybe at the end at Endgame he kind of like was grandstanding, But throughout the entirety of certainly Infinity War, he was very measured with what he was doing.
Right.
And that provided something that was unique among every other DC, Marvel. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if we're deconstructing villains, I mean, what is like the one evil villain that is completely irredeemable? The only one I can think of is Nazis, but that's been done to death. Like what other villain is, completely evil, irredeemable?
Redeemed means a lot, but a bunch of different things. Either way, we did just get
Sure.
Penguin. That was a pretty good look at someone who, based on what
Okay.
they showed, is a piece of shit from the beginning. So
then he turned into a bigger piece of shit.
Turned into a bigger, more honed piece of shit. Yes.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, now we can talk about the best of 2024. The Penguin was right up there, I think. I don't know, Badger. We haven't talked since the finale.
Yeah, I was happy with it. There were a couple things I would have maybe gone a different route, but overall, yeah, I was very happy with where they ended up with it.
Comic accurate.
Yeah, in the comics, he straight up kills his brothers. He walks them out onto thin ice, literally, and because they make fun of him and bully him. I know everyone's happy to have a villain. This is the one motherfucker I thought could have been sympathetic and at least ambiguous as to yes, he meant to lock his brothers in there, but he didn't realize they were going to get flooded and killed. And then the whole rub was that was going to her knowing the whole fucking time he killed them and going along with it. It left a bad taste in my mouth, but that was everyone else pointing out that just Gotham is evil and everyone's bad. It's like, all right, that doesn't go against lore. Not something I would have chosen.
Trust me, I live there. That's an accurate depiction of reality.
Him off in Vic at the end, I was fine. I didn't like his Sith learning that it was because of weakness and he was too close. I thought it was just more that Vic was the only one that knew the truth about his mom and all that shit. But again, I'm happy with where we ended up. I just would have taken a slightly different route there. But yeah. Really shows you Colin Farrell's a great fucking actor.
I mean, yeah, of course. Is there a season 2?
The Batman 2, if that motherfucker ever finishes the script. Matt Reeves.
Oh.
You mean they I thought they haven't even started filming?
No. They haven't even have a script.
Oh, jeez. Okay. That'll be a while.
Yeah. So because it reported that it was done, and then James Gunn just came out and was like, I think that was a very well-meaning report, but no, I and everyone else are eagerly. So no, Matt has not. Yeah. And we still don't have anything about Batman Brave and the Bold. So I don't know what that's going on.
Well, here's hoping that the time they put into it. I mean, it's better that they take the time rather than to rush it.
Sure.
So,
Sure. And apparently the TV show did inform the Batman 2 going forward. So.
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, now we're kind of waiting for the new Superman trailer. Yeah. I keep seeing Slav's Twitter posts about it.
After Creature Commandos, all my fucking goodwill for James Gunn's ability to selflessly, separate from his wants, do what's best for the world and the lore, right out the fucking window when he turned Frankenstein's monster in a cuck. If you haven't watched Creature Commandos, it's a doozy. Either way, I have no idea what to expect now from Superman.
I mean, he wears fucking diapers. Like, Superman should not wear the red trunks in movies. He looks fucking stupid.
Yeah, in modern day depictions, I have a hard one with that, unless it's straight up an alien suit. But
it's dumb. Like,
didn't they?
So awful looking.
Isn't the whole reason that they depicted Superman with underwear was to carry over what strongmen were doing at the time?
The 20s and 30s,
showcasing their physique.
Strongmen, yeah.
Right. And so it's
even Green Lantern and Batman have fucking leotards on, basically.
But I mean, the origins of that don't really hold up.
It's a visual thing. This is the argument, right? When we say, bro, he's a grown man with underwear. And they go, well, it's just a visual, blah, blah, blah. And it breaks up whatever. Just do the DC Rebirth where he's got the red belt with the gold fucking... It's Henry Cavill's was close enough, essentially.
Doesn't Batman... doesn't the original Batman depiction... Doesn't he wear his...
Yeah, they all have underwear over their spandex.
I don't know. Is it easier to draw or something?
No, it's just like you're saying. It's a carryover from old strongmen. It was just it's part of its time.
It does break up the when you're coloring, but also it's just it's that he's likening to the old.
Yeah, think Arnold Schwarzenegger, Paul, right? When he's on stage and he's doing the whole thing in the underwear. I mean, carries over into that, right?
Fair enough. Yeah.
No, I like the idea that they're going with. If you're gonna First of all, James did everything that we made fun. Not we, but everyone talked shit to Snyder and WB for. Instead of starting with one movie, you're going into a fully established world where everyone already exists. Heroes kill, and you have a Superman that's coming out, and he's like ostracized because he doesn't kill, and he's hopeful. Well, good luck with that, based on the world we just saw in Creature Commandos. He just kept all of his canon, by the way. If James Gunn did it before, it's canon in the new DCU.
Actually,
what he said.
When you think about it, these days, when you have vigilantes and killing people in the streets of New York City,
everyone would be just happy.
The response of that is to have an actual superhero not do that.
Right.
It's probably too late. But if they were to implement that into the new Superman, that would be interesting.
Yeah, but they would have to say that the guy that did that was wrong, and I don't know.
Right.
Well,
with that. So.
Based on that response, I'm like, oh Jesus Christ, that's why Batman doesn't kill.
This is a divided issue, actually.
No, I don't think it is.
And I understand. Well, it is for me.
Batman kills.
No. So here's the thing: people are against violence, but they're understanding because of how screwed up the healthcare system is.
I agree, but that doesn't give people carte blanche to
100%. 100%.
Yeah, no, but people are glorifying it. Look, I have a fucking Assassin's Creed on it. All right, I'm sickened by the amount of people that are putting Ezio's face over him.
Yeah, that's annoying. And
taking someone's life because of that shit. In the video games, it's explained because they're an ancient order of evil, fucking Machiavellian. Health officials aside, this is just another dude who underwent no trial and he was executed in the fucking street. That's not American.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Paul, I messaged you and I asked, because I haven't delved deep into the Luigi thing, did this guy actually have a personal stake in what he did, or is he just making some provocateur general statement that the medical industrial complex is corrupt?
I heard he had this manifesto, and some of the stuff that he said in
I
his
read it.
manifesto. I didn't read it.
The manifesto is like a paragraph long. It's not even a manifesto. It's just a statement.
He might be right, but that doesn't mean he was right.
Sure.
That makes any fucking sense.
Well, I mean, okay,
But
for one thing, he throws
thing-
out this stat about, how much is spent on healthcare and yet the life expectancy, but he leaves out a really important thing. People here eat like shit. That's part of the reason why life expectancy is so low.
That's a whole other.
So it's like he's not that smart. I don't know.
We can get into RFK Jr., but
we're gonna get you demonetized real quick.
100%. No, I will say one last thing about the Luigi thing. I keep seeing two different pictures. It might not be this Luigi kid, because the first guy was wearing a
unibrow thing.
The unibrow is what convinced me it's that
sorry,
same motherfucker.
It's really stupid because I'm saying that the analyzation of that with low res photos. If you photograph my beard looks thinner in certain different lightings. It just does. I'll look at photos of like people taking when I'm out and about, and my beard looks so fucking thin. I'm like, what the fuck did my thickness go? If I have whatever bit I have, it's not there. But then if the lighting's different, yada yada, it changes.
Yeah.
It's the same
honestly,
kid.
I think people are underestimating how inept the NYPD is.
I mean, I think, yeah, okay, sure, maybe underfunded, undertrained, overworked, spread out.
Oh, they like the mayors have completely crapped on the police force. They're just not even enforcing any laws anymore. It's like, well, we're not going to enforce laws if you're going to, try cops. Peace.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Well, look, the guy was. I don't know if anyone knew this, but I looked it up today. The guy who got killed, who was murdered, he had 2 sons.
Right.
He was a father.
Yeah.
And whatever shit that he did, he probably was not innocent. But at the end of the day, you don't just fucking kill people.
Right. You need to have a trial, and anyway.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I understand why people don't care,
right?
Because of his position, and to some degree, I relate to that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what makes us different and what makes us Americans is that we show empathy to
100%.
Even our enemies.
100%. Yeah. And that's the whole free speech thing. If you're not for the free speech of your enemy, then you're not for free speech.
Which, circling back, I don't know if James Gunn is possibly like capable of doing this, but if he shows a Superman that is like truth, justice, and don't you fucking say for a better tomorrow, truth, justice in the American way, if he gives us that type of Superman who's like, we have lost our way to like everyone, like this is not it, and then shows a better way, man, he'll win a lot of people over, but I don't think
Do
he's
you
capable
really
of
think
doing
that's
that.
where he's going? I
No,
don't
no,
know.
well, in design of Superman and what he said about it, yes, but whether he's actually capable of doing that,
Yeah.
no, I would not. I don't think he's capable of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they've learned their lesson.
Or he'll do it worse. He will do it and give a pretty hopeful, and David Cornsweet and the Lois Lane chick have good chemistry, whatever. It'll be fine, and then he'll undermine it with every single other project. That
Did we get
do you know what I'm
any
saying?
DC movies this year? Was Blue Beetle this year or last year?
It was last year.
Last year.
Man, that shit blurs.
I think that's coming back as a animated feature though, with the kid.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
But that
Okay.
probably maybe got written on.
I mean,
too.
what's his name? I call him Miguel from Cobra Kai.
Sholo Maridueña.
Oh, look
There
at
we
you.
go. Ah, there you go. You, wait,
Shut the hell up.
Yeah. Which I actually, I'm almost done watching Cobra Kai. First couple episodes of this.
Oh, yeah. No spoilers because I'm not there
No,
yet.
I mean,
I'm
no, that's
waiting
fine.
for
The
part
first
3.
couple were like, and then it picks back up. I have one left.
I'm still
it
on.
picks back up.
I'm like at the end of season 4, the beginning of season 5. So I'm way
Oh, okay.
back
So you
there.
got a while to go.
But you know what? Y'all, I'm so over the teenage drama crap. Like
Oh.
every time they're on the screen, I'm just like, it's just, let's get back to
Yeah.
Johnny.
Yeah, we grew up watching enough OC, Dawson's Creek,
It's so
90210, blah, 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 blah,
annoying.
blah.
These little dumb love triangles, and then the character of what's her face, Lori or Tori, the
Tori,
blonde
yeah,
chick.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
she
yeah.
annoys the absolute hell out of me. I
Peyton
can't
List.
stand her.
And
She
I don't
is
know, but
terrible.
the teens in what Kyle just mentioned were all like doing drugs and drinking and having fun and banging each other, doing way crazier shit. And this one, it's like, what are they arguing about? Are you guys
Right.
gonna fight yet? Like,
Yeah, Generation Alpha.
we're getting a Karate Kid movie though that's supposed to have
Yeah.
Ralph Macchio in it again, even though
Saw
they'll
the
do kung
poster
fu.
for it.
Aren't we
Did
The
you? How
poster is up
what
at the
does it look like?
theater.
with
It
Jackie
was
Chan?
yes, with Jackie Chan and Ralph Macchio, and I don't know who the kid is, but it was up at the theater when I was there a
Wait,
couple weeks
Jackie
ago.
Chan? Please tell me that Jaden Smith is not returning.
No, I didn't look like Jaden Smith.
Thank
I
God.
don't know who it is, but Ralph Macchio was. That's why I noticed it, was because Ralph Macchio was on the poster.
Yeah.
So
We don't need that kid on screen ever again.
I actually like that Karate Kid, okay, but I'm not a huge Karate Kid fan anyway.
It was just funny because it was the Karate Kid and he taught him kung fu.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Yeah.
why'd you fucking just call it the
Most
Kung Fu
people
Kid?
have no idea anyway. So.
Yeah. Jackie Chan is fine. Jaden even wasn't horrible, I thought, in this. He was at least somewhat likable, but now he's probably completely
Well,
batshit.
no, yeah, not now. Back then he was a little adorable and could kind of act some, but yeah,
Pursuit of Happiness.
Good movie.
he was so
There you go.
tiny in that.
Tops
Yeah,
out there.
yeah.
That pumpkin ale was way too sour, so I switched to bourbon. I'm not a big fan of sour drinks.
Man's drink.
I actually took my first sip, more than half an hour in. Cheers, man.
Yeah, cheers. Oh, because you had a beer and a whiskey.
No, so people think I'm drinking beer when I'm in my videos. Then this is just a sparkling water. It's carbonated water.
Yeah. I mean, that pumpkin ale was really sour. Not good.
Not good.
Point Pleasant's finest brewery, Fry Brewing Company. Not a good fall brew. But yeah, another best of 2024 I wanted to bring up, and I think everybody forgot about it. And I don't think I don't know, maybe it'll get some Oscar buzz, but who cares about the Oscars? Is Dune 2?
Oh yeah, Dune.
I mean,
I'm sure it will. I won't be at the party.
Are you guys Dune fans?
Sin, I get to say what you said for Craven. Normally, I'm cursed by knowledge. I have not read the books, so
Me either.
And I understand that Chani is completely different. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Denny even said he's not adapting him; he's doing his own thing. So I was told, I drink all of them that complain. I was like, bro, he said he's not doing it, so I don't understand why you're getting upset. He's doing his own version. That being said, I liked it for what it was. That little bastard Timothy Chalamet has way more talent and gravitas than he has any right to.
Yeah.
And the second one, when he walks in there and he fucking tells all of them basically what's what, still gets me.
In the fake modulated lower tone that they did in post. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty
I'm getting comments out.
I'm
on
a
the
dumb
beer
normie.
thing.
I liked it.
Yeah, I didn't read the books either. I'm not super in love with the movies. They're okay. They're so cerebral. And Timothy, I recognize his talent, but I can't connect with him very well.
Because he's
Like
a little
I
beta
just,
bitch. That's why.
yeah, I just don't like it. Yeah, he doesn't do anything for me. I have zero desire to watch the Bob Dylan movie because Bob Dylan does nothing for me anyway. And
But it's
Timothy on
Bob
top of
Dylan
that.
music is
So
so good.
no thanks.
I don't. So like,
Not even going to watch the screener.
I think that Timothy Chalamet is an asshole in real life, but I think he's a pretty damn good actor. If anybody's ever seen Beautiful Boy, that was a fantastic movie.
I saw that.
He did a great job in it.
Depressing as hell. He was
It's
good,
super
but
depressing, yeah.
he was good, but he it feels like he's got this emotional distance from the actual
Yeah.
character that he's playing. Like he can play
He
it well,
does.
but I just feel like he's not actually connecting with the character, so I can't connect with him.
Yeah, I think he's.
It's hard to explain, y'all.
He strikes me as like a little bit of a pretentious, like, prep school douche. And I don't know if you went to a prep school or not, but I imagine you know who he kind of embodies pretty well is Holden Caulfield from what the hell what's that?
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Oh shoot.
Oh God, what is it's that?
I can't think of the name of that book.
Oh my God, hold on.
I know what you're talking about. You'll say it and then I'll remember.
The Holden Caulfield.
It's the one that John Lennon's killer
J.D. Salinger.
Yes,
Catcher in the
that
Rye.
one.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Jesus. Wow, brain fart. But yeah, I think like if anybody were to play that character, it'd be Timothy Chalamet.
Well, unfortunately, nowadays it probably would be Timothy Chalamet because he's in fucking everything now.
Yeah,
so.
he's all over the place.
I'm getting my friend. I'm getting text messages like Catcher in the Rye, dude. Come on. So yeah, Dune Part 2. Oh, sorry.
I can only think of two good movies this year.
Deadpool and Wolverine.
Nah, that one was okay.
I got a few, but go ahead.
Oh, I know what you're going at. And
we got.
I meant to watch that.
One I think me and Matt are definitely going to agree on.
Well, the other one's
watch that.
The Substance.
Yeah, I agree with you.
I can't
That
go
movie's
with you.
fucking
Absolutely.
awesome.
Yes.
I've yet to see that, so I can't comment. And I've been meaning to.
Yeah, we loved it.
Yeah, you guys loved it.
It's great.
Over on your channel, yeah.
I engaged with that movie more so than probably any other film this year.
Wow.
Granted, I haven't seen every film that is in the running of Best Picture, and even looking at the Golden Globe nominees, the only one I've seen of the collection is Substance. September 5 is actually amongst there.
Oh,
you guys saw it recently.
Kyle, did you see that
That's
movie?
a good one.
No.
Did you? That's a good
Oh,
one.
you didn't go. Okay.
I had my back thing going on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So Sin and I and Deleted went to go see the mystery movie night, and that was September 5. Which we all agreed on it. It was pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was.
What was I just watched the first episode of The Agency with Michael Fassbender, and they had John Magaro in that.
Oh, that guy. Okay.
Yeah.
I really liked his performance in September 5th. So.
Yeah. No, it's for everybody to know. It's a movie about the terrorist attack in the 1972 Munich Olympics.
Oh, the media one.
Yes.
Yeah, where it's from the perspective of the media.
And it's all from the point of view of the journalists.
That looked good.
It's very well done.
It was good.
So you could also make it's like a companion piece
to Munich.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said to Bob.
Yeah, I think we did bring up Munich during our discussion.
That's a good fucking movie.
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
It's very good.
I mentioned that now that you've seen this, you need to go watch Munich.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's all. My list is just.
I know. I get it. Same.
I just find Kyle actually pushed me into this because it's been on my list for ages. I just watched Green Zone, which
one.
great, yeah,
Matt
great movie.
Damon.
Very lefty.
A little bit. I mean,
I don't think I've seen that
not
one.
really. It's just
Is it?
anti-war.
Is it?
Is it really lefty?
Is
No,
it?
it's just
It's
anti-war.
not today's lefty.
I don't know. It's Paul Greengrass. There's always that like little, even the Bourne movies. There's like
No.
all the bad
Dude.
CIA guys have American flags in their office and shit. You know what I mean? And like, of course, they all do have American flags. In their
I mean,
office.
no, but I think
Well, your main character is American. I mean, when you look at United 93, how can you get more fucking patriotic than that? Like ultra
lefty
brainwashing
guys,
United 93 when that fucking
because
when
that
that
movie-
shit didn't even happen.
That movie was made during the time where America was still relatively united because of after
Mm-hmm.
9/11. So there was really no that like
now we're definitely getting banned. We got Luigi Mangio on 9/11. No, but I think specifically with Green Zone, it was an anti-war movie. We went to war over basically nothing, and I had I had quite a few friends get hurt, and one of them died. So I'm all for anti-war.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
I think we all are. It's a matter of looking back at the past and what actually led us to that, and
Right.
talking about United 93 and all the films around 9/11 that depict those events are muddled by the questions of what actually fucking happened.
Right. Which, that's muddled because you're never going to find out what the CIA does. Oh, he lost.
Oh,
he
deleted.
lost connection again. I was just about to be like, "Hey, deleted's in here." He was in here for like half a second.
I don't know if it's just his modem. It might. Well, he's on his phone, but his
Yeah.
issues might also just be related to his service, not necessarily the modem itself.
And I mean, the worst part about internet service providers is that for the most part, they have monopolies on certain locations.
Oh yeah.
So like my mom can only get Comcast, and Comcast is the goddamn devil. Sorry, that's I don't stop ranting about that.
It's like your version of Spectrum.
I mean, so in my building, I have a choice of three. I have Spectrum, Verizon, and RCN. And so I started with Spectrum, and then I switched to Verizon.
Is that the little box?
I have no
The
idea.
little cube?
It's sitting behind my Super Nintendo Mini.
The one that runs on the cell towers, I think. My brother. has
No.
that.
It's the FiOS. It's like a wired thing.
Oh, it's wired. Oh.
Yeah. So it's pretty good. I can't stream over the Wi-Fi, even though the router is like 10 feet that way. It doesn't pick up, so I have to wire it in order to have enough bandwidth to stream. But yeah, shout out Verizon. Yeah, not much can be said about the ISPs. There's another industry everybody hates.
Yeah, it's frustrating.
And so it's so funny. The reason I tend to archive all of the movies that I download into my behemoth that you guys can't see, a 40 terabyte desktop over here. So when I was growing up in the late 90s, my dad got tired and fed up with 56K. So he's like, we're getting a cable modem. And so we had Comcast, and when it was too hot or too cold, the internet would just go out. So I was just like, oh my God, like if I don't have the internet, what am I going to do? So I just started hoarding all these movies and TV shows on my computer.
You need to make a Plex library.
And then I send you the Plex link for all of you guys to see. I think I passed 4,400 movies on my drive.
Dang.
And yeah, I know. I need to catch up on some TV show downloads. I'm not all the way caught up. Archive. I downloaded all of ER, which was half a terabyte. I don't know that I'll ever watch it. It's just for posterity, I guess.
I watched that entire series after it had aired like 15 years ago.
ER?
Yeah.
Oh.
And it was actually I got into it like seriously. Like that was addicting, actually. Surprisingly,
Really?
that show. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
so my biggest issue with all of those old shows, and I actually started like I don't know, maybe I watched a couple episodes of the X-Files. It's that there's so many episodes per season.
Yeah, it's a lot of commitment.
22, 24 episodes a season. It's too much.
Mhm.
That's why I love the model that essentially it was Sex and the City and The Sopranos started. 10, 12 episodes a season. You make them meaty and you have some substance to them and good. I mean, even Breaking Bad actually. Who was the producer? Vince Gilligan was saying how they made one episode of Breaking Bad, the one with the fly, where Walter, yeah, they made one of those filler episodes just to show how stupid filler episodes are.
You know who directs that episode?
No, who?
Ryan Johnson.
Well, that
The
explains
cinematic troll himself.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Oh God, the Star Wars trilogy. Oh, we got Star Wars: The Acolyte this year. That got a lot of views on our YouTube channels.
Yeah, you guys have milked that thing to death.
Well, for the ones
I'm
that
so
have made
glad I
videos
never
on
watched it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm so glad I never watched it.
I mean, I had no idea what the hell Skeleton Crew was about, and I started watching. And I'm like, this is so dumb. And then like
kids.
Star Wars theory, and everybody's like, oh yeah, it's just the Goonies in space, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll give it a watch. Jude Law is in it, so I don't know.
Maybe it's better than The Order.
Jude Law is not having a good year.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Order.
Yeah.
Oh my
Order,
god. Yeah. Yeah, that was not great.
TDS peak propaganda.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it wouldn't
Very
have
sneaky.
been if
You
it
can't
didn't
tell
have
through
that-
the entire 2-hour movie, but
They could have
right
left
at the credits.
Yeah,
it
it's like
tells
they
you.
could have left
do?
that off completely.
Yeah.
What do they do
Yeah.
for the credits?
So at the very end, so it's this movie about fucking
I know what it's about.
asshole
Yeah.
racist, right? Yeah, for the audience at hand, I mean, out there.
Yeah.
It's a true story about these racists in the 80s that they murdered
Except
people,
all the
they
all
stole
the
money, millions of
protagonists
dollars.
were fake. They weren't even real.
Correct.
So-
Yeah, they came up with those, like Jude Law's character,
Mhm.
who has this hilarious scene where he gets up into one of the guy's face in
That
the
was so
holding
cringe.
cell.
Like, what is
Like,
that?
like
He was like almost
literally like
struggling with
this.
them. It was
Yeah.
really gross.
Just into his neck.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to
What
be
was
this
the point of that scene?
intimidating moment.
Just so you could know that his
but
nose
it
is
just made
bleeding
me
again.
laugh in the theater.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
the ending peaks and shows us what actually who made this movie and why did they. It peaks where it shows a chyron right before the credits that says the book, this racist book, something
Turner
Diaries,
Diaries.
Turner Diaries, was the inspiration for January 6th.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was like
Yep.
it was yeah.
Fuck.
They were linking that with January 6th and of course Timothy McVeigh. And so they were like trying
Right.
to put it all under this umbrella.
Well,
But that's not even true.
But it's
Even with
taking away
McVeigh,
from the
because McVeigh
original
wasn't a
tragic
fucking
event.
racist. He was
tried turning-
he was an anarchist.
But they
Well,
still tried
he-
turning him into like a skinhead and like all that shit.
I mean, he definitely had some strains of that in his background, but that was not his motivation for
That's
what
what I'm
he
saying.
did.
But
Yeah.
Nor was that the motivation for what happened, on J6. So
But
the
the-
fact that they tried to do this and they threw this umbrella over, it was just like, oh, you just couldn't help yourself, could
But
you?
yeah, no, but
you
the
had
the
to do
thing
this.
is that it was
was
two
so cringe.
completely separate events, and by
Yeah.
adding that January 6th stuff, then you take away from all of that
Yeah.
happened to the victims of the 80s crimes.
It was-
Namely
it
that,
was so
that journalist
stupid.
that got killed in Colorado. Like, you're taking away from all the gravity of all the evil that happened there
Mhm.
with this. It's just like, if you want to show the evil of anything else, make a movie about that and leave
Well,
them separate.
the point was also to just diminish the grievances that people had
Right.
on that day. The whole reason why they were doing what they did. It was so they figured by attaching this label to it, well, we'll
Right.
just dismiss those. You know,
Right,
we're gonna. This is why they did it. So they're pieces of trash.
Yeah.
That was the whole reason for that. It was stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
They just washed over the entire movie to then recontextualize it. I can't recall another movie that has done that, to where I already had grievances or problems, critiques about the film, and the moments like I mentioned before with Jude Law trying to intimidate somebody, but it turns out to be unessentially hilarious. To recontextualize the entire film, and for me to just get up, fuck you, movie.
Yeah,
fuck that. You just revealed yourself. You just wasted everyone's work and talent that went into that film. And it paints the advertisers want to paint it as this award-worthy drama, which they did. I thought it was going to be that. So the advertisers did a good job, but when you actually watch it, there are issues within the events of how they actually portray this that is not actually factual of what happened. Sin, you pointed out how this fucking cop gets into a shootout, a raid, and he's not even wearing a bulletproof vest.
Not wearing a vest and can't shoot for crap.
The kid from Ready Player One.
Aim. Yeah, it was stupid.
Oh yeah, the kid from Ready Player One.
Which gets killed.
Was a horrible, horrible adaptation, by the way. I read the book, Ready Player One, and the movie was awful. It was just Steven Spielberg saying, "Look what I can do with a computer."
Yeah. It was
He's done that a few times.
Right.
He did that with the Tintin bullshit.
That and artificial intelligence. He completely messed up Kubrick's original vision for that movie.
No, that's not true actually, because he did an interview where he clarified that the original ending actually, that is the way Kubrick envisioned the ending.
I thought
it may have looked differently in the way the tonality was, but the events that happened with the robotic aliens that appear 1,000 years later or something, that was in Kubrick's vision. The movie did not end, which is the rumor of the myth in culture, is that the movie ended with David underwater in the vessel praying to the blue fairy, and that's not what happened.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's not how Kubrick.
That was kind of pre-social media, so I didn't get that story.
Granted, I'm taking Spielberg at his word, so if there's a small chance that maybe he's just bullshitting everyone.
Yeah, but Kubrick hasn't been relevant since 1998.
That's true.
Matt,
I read a book somewhere. I don't remember which one it was, but they had talked about just that, and that's accurate. And whatever source I read, it's been years, but I remember seeing Stanley Kubrick's storyboards for his version, and it's very, very, very close to what Spielberg did. So
yeah, and my theory is that it came across schmaltzy, the tonality of it and the way it ended with David in the arms of his mother, and how you kind of have the sentimental John Williams music, and it fades out very beautifully. I don't think that's how Kubrick would have done it. That's the thing. You know,
first of all, there wouldn't have been John Williams' score. There would have been classical music in it. That would be one thing.
Yeah.
And the tone would have just been, that's really what would have separated. It's just totally.
The events would have still happened the way it played out, but I think the tonality would have been entirely different, still giving a differentiation to people of, well, the emphasis would be the tone. This is the difference of tonality and the effect that it can have. The effect that audiences would have walked away from Kubrick's tone would have been, man, that's a bummer. The mother's going to die and he's just going to be alone anyway. And it's all for naught. And it's 1,000 years of waiting and yet Spielberg's tone. Oh, that's so beautiful. He gets to sit with his mom and, on the bed and they're just holding each other. And it's just so sweet. That's what they left with.
Right.
But that's the difference of tonality that filmmakers bring. That's the importance of those decisions that filmmakers make.
Well, Spielberg's tones are always very optimistic.
Schmaltzy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which works. Majoritively work. They've worked
great
over the years. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Megan the Texan is saying Rebel Moon was my favorite topic for Hard Cut to talk about.
Oh man, that's
shredded.
That's cool, but that was a painful 2 fucking movies to sit through. So
Whoa, hold on a
Did you
second.
watch the extended? Was the
Absolutely.
extended?
That's exactly what I was gonna ask.
Absolutely
Because
not.
I started watching the original and then I stopped and then I heard about this extended version and I wondered if that was better.
I heard it's worse. So
I watched it just for the vigorous sex scenes that were in it and nudity that probably would have made that original cut a lot more likable had they put it in.
Yeah, you got to see some titties.
But how did it compare to
I don't know.
was
I
it
literally
better?
just fast forwarded and watched the sex scenes. I didn't.
Oh, that
and,
was
the,
okay.
The
So,
ancient
all right.
like god thing that they trapped for their fucking engine that also would have been more interesting had they shown. But yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, they show like the face for a second in the original cut.
Yeah, and this one is like it shows that like they make them cry and it gives you powers. Like they basically have god women trapped, and that's the power for their ships that makes them warp through space.
So it's
it's not coal?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a combination of that and coal. Okay.
It's people.
Wow.
Now, what's worse, that or
Zack
Alien
Snyder is a
Romulus?
fucking genius.
That's worse than Alien Romulus for sure.
Yeah, Rebel Moon is fucking worse than everything.
Romulus sucked, but it wasn't that level. It wasn't the Zack Snyder level of bad. You know?
Right.
Yeah, like what is the worst of the worst of Megalopolis? We forgot about that one.
I haven't even seen that, so
Yes.
Don't bother.
I can't comment.
It is probably the worst film. I actually was thinking over this today. I was because you'd mentioned the topic in the title, worst and best of 2024. Trap is one of them.
Oh, Trap is pretty bad.
Yeah, but I would say Megalopolis is number one because of how fucking hard it hit the ground.
Yeah,
terribly, and just
So that's gonna
splat.
make your top worst.
I'm not going to make a video about that stuff. I don't want to put my time into that, but I'll talk about it. Yes, that Megalopolis is the worst of the year because the expectations and the time that he had to do it and the money. Granted, I know it's his own, but that just raised the stakes of, you sure you want to do this? Like you better make sure that you're making a movie that is going to be coherent and have a flow to it. He didn't.
Yeah.
And it was
completely incoherent at all.
Oh yeah. I mean, it is in the realm of Tommy Wiseau's The Room.
Shit.
Like it is in the realm of that.
No,
Maybe one day it'll become like a cult classic.
No, because Tommy Wiseau's The Room is a cult classic. This is just straight up bad.
It's in a different context of, wow, this is from a great filmmaker, once great filmmaker.
Right.
You remember he still made Jack, by the way. And
Jack,
Twix,
like
Twix that no one talks about. I saw that when it came out. Twix with Val Kilmer and Elle Fanning.
Yeah, that's the one he made like before this one.
Yeah,
right?
but in 2011.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and this was I tell people, I like warning them is like, if you watched Twix, that's similar thing to what you're getting in Megalopolis, and that was a misfire then. I don't expect anything more aside from it being $100 million more of a slip.
Okay, so I think, Kyle, you helped push me over the edge on one thing, because I was like, I don't know which one is worse, Megalopolis or I Saw the TV Glow. And you're right, Megalopolis is a bigger, harder landing than I Saw the TV Glow. I Saw the TV Glow. I'm tripling, quadrupling down on this. That was one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, you got to measure it. You know, what is the context?
Harder landing. Yeah, because that one was an indie bullshit movie, whereas Megalopolis was supposed to be this big, huge release.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pushed me over the edge. That's my worst movie of 2020.
I think my worst movie this year so far. I haven't seen those 2 films, so I can't speak to those.
Me
but
either.
Mine is probably the Crow remake.
Fair. I didn't see it, but I can understand, man. Like the things I've listened to other people talk about it and depicting events that have happened and inconsistencies and things that don't make sense.
It was not good. It was not good. It was bad, but it didn't piss me off Joker 2 level.
Thank
Joker
you, hon.
2.
Joker
Go
2
for it.
well,
Yeah,
that's
go
what I
for
was
it.
saying,
Yeah,
because
it's
I
totally
realized my
fair.
repressed trauma just got released. Joker 2
Yeah, we can
actively
tell.
pissed me off.
That one is my number one.
Fuck
yeah.
Quentin Tarantino and his I love it, it's a fuck you, and thinks he's clever. I know it's a fuck you.
He actually
Get it.
said that?
He
Oh,
did.
Quentin loves it
did.
because it's a fuck you to the audience, and he
Yeah.
doesn't get that we all are very well aware that we're getting punished for wanting Joker to be Joker in a Joker movie, and that movie is literally a fuck you to the audience.
I would say that The Crow is worse than that movie, but that movie definitely, the Joker 2 definitely pisses you off.
Does he get raped in prison in The Crow?
No, again, the
Joker 2 he does.
is
What?
definitely like that
No,
movie
I've seen
will
it.
fucking piss you off.
Oh,
I
you
didn't
oh,
think
you
that
one
he
of
got
those
raped
that
by
when
the
he goes
prison
into the
guards.
room
with the guards
The
with
guards, I
pants
think
on,
it's-
and he
I think
leaves with his
it's
pants off. That they
it's
just beat him up.
implied that they had
It's
done
very
that to him.
suggestive.
Yeah.
Yeah, highly
So
suggestive.
like
actually
the
didn't
Crow
pick
is
up on it when I
bad.
first saw it.
The Crow is bad, but
I like to give
measure
Brendan
it
Gleeson
by-
the benefit of the doubt that he's
You
not
measured on-
sticking his
on
dick
anger?
into Joaquin
I
Phoenix.
measure
you know?
it by
His baton
how
could have
like
been used.
level of pissed offness, and
Yeah,
Joker is
Joker
number one
definitely
for
was
me.
hot as a
That pisses
10.
you off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
about
was
Joker
so
2.
mad. I'm still mad about it. I was
It wasted
so
my
mad.
time.
Well, see,
That's exactly
Oh,
what
yeah.
I said in my review. I
Joker
was
2
like,
just
true.
set
It
it
was
off
just
where
like-
we're all talking at the same time. This is fantastic.
I was so pissed off. I was angry during the movie. And then I was up in New Jersey, and then I was angry driving back home to my brother's house. And then I was angry while I filmed the review because I had to get it done before a business meeting I had. And I was just pissed. I was so angry. I couldn't think of proper words to say how angry I was.
I got a great
Stay
review.
away from our toys.
I
Thank you,
think the
Calvin.
only thing that, like, for me, the reason why I would say it's better than the Crow remake is just because the filmmaking is better like it's a well-made movie still, whereas the Crow it sucks. Like
The Crow's terrible.
every
It's
aspect
definitely
sucks.
really bad. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
but-
going to be on my list. But Nosferatu made up for Bill Skarsgård in The Crow. He was good in Nosferatu.
Well, so I haven't seen Nosferatu yet, but I know what he looks like, and he looks fucking stupid in that movie.
I think he looks good.
No,
You know what he looks like? He
There's-
looks like a Dracula on the cover of a video game I had about a vampire.
He's okay.
He doesn't look like the
That doesn't
original
sound like the
Nosferatu.
compliments in.
He's got
Yeah.
he's got a mustache.
I'm okay with it because
He looks
number one, I never saw the original Nosferatu.
Is it a John Waters mustache?
It's like a Sam Elliott, like thick, bushy.
Oh,
He's got a mustache
shit.
and little. Well, it's not thick. It's not thick and it's not super thick.
a mustache
It looks
ride?
stupid. When the 1920s version looked better. Yeah.
I'm going to suck your blood.
And the 1920s one looks definitely creepier. I mean, he's creepy
by far,
but he doesn't look as absolutely ugly as the 20s does.
So the 20s one, is it a long movie?
No, it's
I don't
60
know how
minutes or
long it
something.
is.
Okay.
Is it really on 6? This one's more than.
Because like some
2 hours
of those old silent movies are like 3 hours long. Like Birth of a Nation is
Yeah.
like.
Look, I
3
haven't
hours
seen
long.
every classic film, but I would think that everyone who is into film would have seen that at least.
Mm.
I refuse to watch it because I don't like black and white movies very much, and I especially don't like silent film.
Wait. Back
Like
up.
any black and white film?
I said not that much. There are some I do. I like Psycho. I like
Young Frankenstein?
to Kill a Mockingbird.
Roman
I
Holiday?
did not watch. I don't like movies like Young Frankenstein, so I haven't watched. I know.
Well, that's
y'all.
on purpose. It's a parody.
Oh, Sid.
Yeah.
I'm not going to subject you to one recommendation. Seven
dear, help us.
Samurai. Seven Samurai. is
I've seen Seven Samurai
Okay.
way back when I was like a teenager. I did watch that.
The
Yeah.
black and white isn't the issue. It's just a very long movie.
Yeah, it is a very long movie, but the one movie that's black and white that you really ought to check out, because I've been going back and forth as like my favorite movie of all time between that and Shawshank Redemption, is Ikiru. Same director, Akira Kurosawa. It's just a fucking phenomenal movie. Ikiru, 1952. The plot line is this bureaucrat, paper pusher, gets diagnosed with inoperable cancer, and then just basically is the repercussions of that. And it's just a beautiful movie. Highly recommend it. Like, I think it might be better than Shawshank.
What's the synopsis?
That yeah. So it's
There's
What
this
did
guy
what I
that gets
miss?
inoperable cancer, so repercussions happen because of that.
I missed that part. The
Oh.
that's the movie.
Yeah, the
so
one he's talking about.
He basically, I mean, spoiler alert for a 70-year-old movie, but so he basically sets out to build a children's playground to leave something behind, for the world, and like finds his purpose in life, where he was just like going through and like just
The
whatever.
reason I asked the question was because how do you fill an entire movie with that? That's the wondering. This.
I mean, it's not a long movie. It's like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Then there you go.
Yeah. But it's just the ending scene is, I mean, I've seen, I don't know, back in the 90s where they do the best movies of all time like thing in the Oscars. There is the playground scene in that movie, and I never knew what that movie was until I saw it. And I mean, just the playground scene at the end is just like, oh, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Like Akira Kurosawa really outdid himself with that movie.
Mm-hmm.
Highly recommend it. You got like that's the one. I mean, there's plenty of Maltese Falcon. Come on, that's
that
movie.
Saw that when I was a
right.
teen.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah, I did watch a lot of black and white movies. Like we used to rent them because I grew up without a TV, so we rented things from the library, put them on the projectors, and flashed it up on our wall. So I did see the Maltese Falcon and a lot of others, but black and white is just not something I gravitate toward very often.
Okay.
And especially the silent films, which is what Nosferatu is.
I mean, yeah, I haven't seen too many silent films. I have them all. I have movies on my hard drive going back to like 1902, but yeah. Hey, I'm archiving
Like,
the
you
internet.
only get a portion of the movie because that's the only parts that exist. Everything else.
I mean, yeah, basically. I don't even know. There was some French movie from 1902, Man in the Moon. I think it's only like 10 minutes long.
Yeah, that iconic shot.
Yeah. It's not to say that I've seen them all. It's just
you just have access to them.
I just have them on command, Yeah. For when the apocalypse rolls around and you don't have internet, come on over. We'll watch the movies.
Exactly.
Yeah, but you might not have power either. So
no. You can have like a generator.
Yeah, you can have a generator. You can have
until you run out of gas.
Well, no, you can have a treadmill.
Oh yeah, like a solar power or something.
Solar
power,
and also maybe there's something. Well, if you can't live in New York City to do this, but I have a buddy who's got oil coming out of a certain part of the ground.
As he's like cracking it up in another drink. Nice.
Actually, he's been on the show. It's Ben.
Oh, your actor friend?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He lives on top of an oil patch or something?
Well, his folks do.
Oh, wow.
He showed me a fucking barrel of oil, and there's a whole thing that I was asking, like, you gonna make some money off of this? It's just like, whatever's going on with that. I don't know. Well, I saw the barrel.
This is an excellent segue that like Kyle and I can get into. I don't know if you guys have seen it, Landman.
That's a good segue, actually. That was pretty damn good.
You brought up the oil. I brought it home.
Okay.
Landman is a show with Billy Bob Thornton, Ali Larder, and John Hamm about the petroleum industry in West Texas. And it's made by the same guy that did Yellowstone, Hell or High Water. Taylor Sheridan. I really liked it. And I mentioned in my review that I'm completely biased because I grew up around that. My dad was an oil driller, so I'll still never get the image out of my head, and which is why I'll never touch Diet Coke. They use Diet Coke concentrate, like the formula, to degrease the petroleum drills. Imagine what that does to your stomach. But yeah, no, I guess
I don't drink that shit.
Yeah, don't. I mean, Kyle follows me on Instagram, but 98% of my posts are, make America healthy again stuff. But so it's not as, so the main difference between Landman and Yellowstone is a palace intrigue story, whereas Landman is closer to maybe Hell or High Water, but not exactly. It just shows hardworking Americans doing hard jobs, risking their lives, risking their health. In the latest episode, some guy gets crushed. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert. Are you caught up, Kyle?
I am, yeah.
Okay, yeah. So it's the guy gets crushed by a bunch of pipes, which it's like, well, maybe you shouldn't have been like dancing around on
Okay,
top of the
so
truck.
let me bring some personal experience to this. All right.
Yeah.
I worked in the steel industry actually 10, 15 years ago. I worked forklifts. Okay. And I moved around 12-foot bundles of steel. And these steel bundles were for automotive parts, airplane parts. And I would put them onto flatbeds and containers, trucks, etc. This guy stands on a flatbed with these oil pipes mounted on top of each other, and the straps are taken off. That guy's a fucking idiot. Okay. And
Right.
he deserved what happened to him.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, I totally agree. Totally agree. He shouldn't have been jumping around.
He was asking for it. That was unbelievable. And the only thing that I can attribute to that happening is just for dramatic purposes, because Taylor Sheridan needed something dramatic to happen. There's no way in real life someone who actually works in that industry would make a fucking stupid decision such as that. To stand and walk upon those pipes is utterly idiotic.
Yeah, I mean, and plus they all get OSHA training. OSHA was an occupational safety hazard something or other. They all get that training. So the guy should have known. But yeah, like you said, Taylor Sheridan needed a dramatic effect or whatever, so that
and I can look past that.
Ali Larder can see that, she's giving him too much of a hard time for, dealing with hard shit at work.
Yeah, I want to get into that for a second, but I just want to say, and I can look past
into Ali Larder. You and me both, brother.
No, I'll pass on that. So just for him to have dramatic license in doing that is, I get it. It's fine for the laymen who haven't worked in like blue collar jobs, and I worked for a few years doing that. So, and I handled thousands and thousands of pounds of shit that could crush you. Okay. I dealt with that shit. I know, thankfully nothing bad happened, and I didn't happen to me, didn't happen to anyone I was working with, nothing.
Yeah.
No bad incidents. Aside from one pipe that cracked and a gas fire happened, but no crushing happened, thankfully.
Right. Yeah.
Forklift knocked a pipe open and then, spark.
I mean, so far it's just like a good, I don't know, it's a good drama. I love John Hamm and anything he does. He plays a billionaire oil investor as opposed to, I mean, it's basically Don Draper as an oil man.
So the thing that I wanted to talk about was actually everything else around that. I don't know who here has seen this TV show, Friday Night Lights.
Oh, fantastic show.
Okay.
Kyle
Chandler. And ironically, there was a movie made prior to the TV show with Billy Bob Thornton. Okay. What I noticed in Landman was that there are shades and beats that are very similar to Friday Night Lights. Paul?
Yeah, you know what? I actually do because, and I did so Friday Night Lights was a pandemic show when I watched it. I watched it with my mom when I escaped New York, like Kurt Russell did.
Nice.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, but that could be just the setting.
Because it's Texas.
Because it's
Texas
Texas,
and
it's actually West Texas. Odessa is like West Texas, right?
No,
I don't know.
no. It was a
Geography.
different town in Landman.
Yeah, no. I know that. So Landman, I think it takes place in Midland.
That's
Friday
the
Night
one.
Lights takes place in Odessa. Yeah. I don't know. I've never been anywhere
Well, it's
in
a fictional
outside of
town.
Houston, but
In Friday Night Lights, it was a fictional town, Dillon.
right.
Yeah.
But so the TV show was based on the movie that was based on the book, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I'm not sure about the book, and I haven't seen the film yet. All I'm commenting on is the TV show has similarities to Landman, and
does. It
one
does.
of them is you have our main character who has a wife, and he also has a daughter that's prominently featured, who's supposed to be a teenager, which, oh my god. That actress is fucking 30 years old and it's plainly obvious, and she's trying her best to appear like a 17-year-old, and it's so cringy and
Wait,
laughable
the
and hilarious.
daughter is 30?
Yes.
Wait, hold up. Landman cast. Now I have to look at this.
She was in 1923.
Michelle Randall. Really? Wait, 1923.
She's like 28 years old, man.
Yeah. She is. Huh. Interesting.
She's like skipping around the house trying to act all teenagery and blah 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 blah.
I mean, but then again, wasn't like James Vanderbeek like 25 years old or 28 years old when he?
Yeah, I would criticize that show for that too. You don't notice it when you're younger, but when you're watching that show today, it's clearly they're like 5 years older at least to what they're supposed to be.
I think that the reason for doing that, and it comes across very apparent in Stranger Things, is that if you use actual kids, then they're gonna just age out and then look like grown ass adults. Like I actually noticed that on Cobra Kai the other night when I was watching it. I'm like, these are like grown ass men. They're not like high school kids.
Okay, but I would bump against that because he just cast someone that was in 1923.
I mean, yeah, maybe, yeah.
That's all. He didn't try to find somebody who would fit that role that was like 25, that looked like they were 18.
Yeah.
He just cast a hot blonde that he worked with in this previous show who,
I mean, given his latest scene in Yellowstone, are you caught up on Yellowstone as well?
I am, and that episode is probably the least important filler episode I have ever seen on that entire series.
100%, but it does show Taylor Sheridan as this like playboy guy. He might be banging these broads for all we know.
Sure, I mean, he wants to make that impression. He has Beth, one of the main characters, for those who don't know, go to his
one of the best written strong female characters.
Yeah, she's amazing. Yeah, his writing is nothing to look down upon. He's a great writer, and for some reason, it's ego. At the end of the day, it's ego. Ego gets in the way of a lot of people's aspirations to do, great art. And this is an aspect that you look at where, okay, so Beth goes to the estate of this guy, Travis, who was portrayed by Taylor Sheridan, the creator, writer. And he's going to sell these horses on behalf of Kevin Costner's character, who's now dead, and yada yada. They need to make money off of what they have, the assets. But leading up to and around that of him selling this horse, you get to see him playing strip poker with these hot babes.
Yeah,
Bella Hadid is his girlfriend. Who
was that? Bella Hadid?
Yes.
Oh, no kidding! Wow.
BG's hotter though. So
sure.
And you get to see a pool party later that evening of people frolicking around in the water and all that. And he's got his shirt off. He's really, built. And this character was already ultra cocky to begin with.
Yeah.
But sprinkled here and there throughout the series. But this episode just showcases this character in a way that we've never seen. This is the second to last episode of this fucking series, and he wants to just embellish
Yeah.
On
is
this
the second
character
to
that is
last?
not a main character, and it's because of him.
Oh, holy crap! There's only one episode left.
Yeah.
Wait, I thought there was like even more because how
No.
the hell are they going to wrap up this whole Jamie thing?
Possibly an hour and a half episode, that kind of thing.
Oh my god, he's taken a series that was freaking phenomenal for 4 seasons and just completely bungled the final season.
Well, I would criticize it in the way of, okay, so like season 3, season 4.
I'm sorry. Before you continue, I got to get out of here. Sorry.
What do you got going on next, Badger?
Don't worry about it. You just check out my Twitter. It says all the streams I'll be on throughout
All
the
right,
week.
everybody, check out Badger's links. They'll be down below.
Appreciate you.
Thanks for coming, Badger.
Yeah.
See you, Badger.
Good one, guys. Bye.
Yeah.
Bye.
Sorry. Continuing on, you were saying, Kyle?
Sorry, let's just switch it to Star Wars, and it'll be more interesting for Badger. So yeah, that series repeated itself in season 3 and season 4 in terms of the plot line, and it needed to end in the way that Lost decided to end. Like the writers were scrambling to figure out where to go in season 3.
Right.
And they approached the network and said, we need to have an end date. Otherwise we don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
Okay. So they, thankfully ABC agreed, and they went to, I think they went to season 6, or season 5. They decided to end the show.
I don't know. I don't think it was season 6. Let me check.
Yeah, I would double check on that, please.
Let's see. Lost list of episodes. Let's see. Where's the Wikipedia page? Let's see. List of Lost episodes. Season 6. You're right.
Okay, so 6. That is what Sheridan needed to do for Yellowstone. And I think the best season to end it on is to do a trilogy of seasons, 3, and just end it there.
Like you're talking like 2 trilogies of seasons? Or
just one trilogy.
Oh, just 3 seasons and done.
Yeah.
Which is, they did that with Ted Lasso, although there's talks of like bringing that back. I think they tied it up enough because they were running out of ammunition with Ted Lasso, which is exactly what's going on with Yellowstone.
So yeah, I don't. This is like, whew, I don't. The way he's handling this for these last episodes of the second half of season 5, majoritively is problematic.
Yeah.
And unsatisfying.
Yeah, but so bringing it, because we me and Kyle can go on and on about Yellowstone. I want to bring it back to
you might have Matt and Sin just like bow out.
They're just like
talking about Yellowstone.
I haven't seen either of them. I've heard plenty about them. I just haven't watched them.
I am going to throw some red meat out for the Lions. And mention some movies that I googled biggest movies released in 2024. Long Legs, Cuckoo, Blink Twice. Thoughts, comments?
Bullshit.
I was not. I was quite disappointed in Long Legs. I thought I was going to like it, and it was it didn't work for me.
It's like Silence of the Lambs on Down syndrome.
Yeah, it was it doesn't even come close to comparing in any favorable way to Silence of the Lambs. Cuckoo, I didn't like the main character all that much, so I couldn't really connect with her. And I forgot the other one. What was the other one you said?
What did I say?
Did you say Don't Blink?
Oh, Blink Twice. I actually haven't seen Blink Twice.
What was that? Gosh, that sounds... I can't remember if I've seen that one now.
1 hour, 42 minutes.
I'll look it up.
Let me see.
Well, so Sin, you know how you just mentioned Cuckoo and you mentioned the girl in that?
Yeah.
So that's probably the video that we got the most shit for this year, because we didn't realize that girl is a trans person.
That girl, yes.
So like we're like talking about
Amazing.
the character, like, well, oh, she, and everyone's like, oh, okay, giving the proper pronouns, huh? You fucking weirdo.
How frustrated were you with yourself? And be honest, I would be too if I added it to, and I didn't know either. I didn't know either until I saw those comments, and I was like, if I was in their position, I would just be mad at myself for not detecting.
I knew because I looked this person up and saw, because I was like, okay, who is this actor? I don't recognize this person at all. And so then I looked it up and I was like, oh, okay.
Well, I guess this person is on Euphoria. I don't watch that show. I know nothing.
I don't either. So
I mean, it's not even coming back. They basically left it unresolved.
I remember Blink Twice now, by the way. That was the Zoe Kravitz movie with the trigger warning at the beginning.
Oh, is that
one,
Channing Tatum?
Yes. That one didn't work as well for me as I thought it was going to either.
There's an actual trigger warning in the beginning?
Yes, there is a trigger warning, which I did not read because I correctly assumed it was going to have a spoiler. Because I didn't want to know anything about what was going on, I just wanted, and then, yeah, the trigger warning apparently let you know.
What does the trigger warning say?
Well, I didn't read it, but I know it's something about, essay.
Stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, trigger warning. They started,
and the ending of Blink Twice was not the win that I think the filmmakers were going for, or Zoe was going for, because it was just like I couldn't buy it. Well, have you guys seen it at all? Have you seen it?
No
Matt?
interest. No.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I guess I won't get into spoilers of it, but I just don't buy it at all.
It just looked like white man bad. So
it kind of yes, that was based.
Wasn't that the Darling movie with Harry Styles? That was the same.
No, that was 2 years ago.
That was the Olivia Wilde movie.
Olivia Wilde.
But in terms of the thematic and the messages,
probably similar.
I didn't see that one, so I don't know.
Speaking of Darling, though, have you guys seen Strange Darling?
I did.
Yes, I did.
And I think I'm the only one apparently who watched that, and I thought it was overrated.
I totally agree with you. I liked it, but I'm like, this is like not as good as everyone's like, oh my God, go into it cold. Don't watch anything.
Yeah,
I did. And I thought the cutting it up could have been interesting, but wasn't necessary.
I enjoyed.
If you want to compare like editing, the Memento is an example of editing being an extremely important element of the storytelling.
Yeah.
Strange Darling, the only reason, like, you kind of know what's going on anyway.
Yeah.
After part 3 or so, like 20 minutes in.
I don't mind the fact that they did it that way, but it thinks it's a lot more clever than it really is.
Right.
There was really no point to them doing that.
Not that clever because they try to have their cake and eat it too. To be honest, I actually hate that phrase and I just use it because everyone knows what it means. But you have okay. So I need to get into spoilers to talk about this.
Shit, man, I haven't seen this yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
go on.
Kyle
Gallner
or Gallner, whatever the fuck.
Dude from the Smile movies.
Yeah, so Gallner is supposed to be perceived as this serial killer, right? And because it's told out of order, we're seeing events that happen later on in the story that make it look as if he is the killer.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, make it look like that. But the thing that they can't get away from, that they totally betray the truth of what actually is going on, is the directors and the filmmakers show and told Gallner to portray this character as if he was a psycho. Correct. But when you figure out what he actually is, he's a cop and he's not a psycho. But he's acting like a fucking psycho.
It's like
here, kitty. He's got a fucking rifle. What fucking cop is going to talk like that? He doesn't. Every other scene in the movie, he is rational. He's talking normally,
But
then
like, she kind of gets the best of him, and he's like pissed off.
Yeah,
I'm not excusing it. I'm not
pissed
excusing
off.
it. That's what
Pissed
they're.
off. Yes, but for him to be all, you kitty.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I agree with you. It's a little weak. I did like the
obviously,
movie.
yeah, an attempt at misdirection, but
Yes.
I think I first heard about. I'd first seen a picture of the poster, and then I think Chris Gore was talking about it, and he was like, "Don't watch trailers. Don't read anything about it." So I was like, "Okay, well, obviously we're supposed to have our thoughts misdirected, and we're supposed to think that she's the victim." So I went into it already feeling like that was going to be the setup, and of course it was. But I still thought it was pretty clever, and I was glad I wasn't pissed with it, and I liked it. Okay, it's not my favorite movie of the year, though.
It's overrated, though.
The biggest issue I after the movie that I'm about to mention, I don't want to go in blind into any movie ever again after I saw the TV Glow. I had no fucking clue what that movie was about. I walked out of that movie still not knowing what the hell it was about until I looked up on Twitter, Reddit, whatever, what it was actually about. I'd at least like to know what I'm getting into with movies from now on.
Well, the thing that pissed me off the most about Strange Darling is the way that these indie films like to end their movies in what they want to think is profound and artistic, but it's boring and pretentious, and is almost to the degree unintentionally funny. The main character, I'm going to hard spoil this, so get out if you don't want to hear what happens at the end of Strange Darling. The actual killer ends up being the girl who is being chased. And we see the tables turn, and she starts shooting everybody, literally, and they're kind of almost letting her do it. She's fucking, you can't overpower her,
Well,
really?
the stupid cops. Some of the stuff that annoyed me was the one cop got close enough to her to be hit by the bear spray or whatever. So it's like then she took him out, and I was like, okay, well, that's stupid. And then when she's in the road and the other two cops come along, and the male cop is rightly suspicious and is like, don't get close to her, don't untie her or whatever. And the woman cop is like, oh, I'm like, you idiot. And she didn't kill the woman cop. And I was like, she's the one that deserved to die.
Yeah, there's a whole thing with her backstory probably where she has this animosity towards men. And
whatever.
I'm sure it's not motivated by neo-feminism.
Sure.
It ends with a woman
feminism
fucking shooting her. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of goofily, I might add. She's like, she gets into this woman's truck trying to hitch a ride, and the old woman is like fumbling for, oh my gosh, she's trying to pull out a gun. Let me get my gun. And she, boom, and the actual killer, does this, and the
final several minutes of the film,
10 minutes or something like that.
It wasn't 10 minutes, but it was a while.
Just trying to put on a performance where she looks like she's turning into Simple Jack.
As we see her die, yeah.
You make me dead.
I'm gonna clip that.
You're gonna clip that nice. Well done,
fucker.
Amazing. I honestly, that is the last good comedy that we've gotten. That was 2008.
Yeah, that and The Hangover. That's it.
Yeah, Hangover is 2009. Yeah, we haven't had a good comedy, and everybody's starting to call it out. Bill Burr's been calling it out, but now a lot of other comedians are calling it out. Even actors are calling it out.
Yeah, they call it out, but at the end of
Ben Stiller. Ben Stiller's. You know what the biggest irony is? Ben Stiller is calling out the fact that there hasn't been a good comedy, and yet
he just went on that
turns around and it's like, go vote for Kamala. It's like, bro.
Ben Stiller has turned into someone who you would have parodied 15 years ago.
Correct. Yeah,
100%.
The character he would have played.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he was ever that good.
I like him.
No, he's done some great stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But after 2008,
Sure.
Fair.
right?
Well, you're not jazzed for the 5th or 4th Meet the Parents sequel? Like,
Wait, there's another one coming.
apparently.
Are you
Oh,
serious? Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
Look
besides
it up.
and really,
How many times can you
the
fucking
first
beat this
two are the only good ones.
What'd you say, Matt?
I said, how many times can you fucking meet those people?
Well, it depends on what age. At this point, Robert De Niro is like he's got he's in Depends, so they can mine some comedy out of that.
They'll do it where he's now the De Niro role.
I mean,
Oh God, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could do that. Yeah. I mean, because like De Niro, De Niro was hysterical this year. Can we all agree that like he was just so completely out of touch, standing in front of like whatever that courthouse in downtown?
Oh yeah,
Manhattan?
that was a
It's
really
just like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Who asked for that?
Well, that was the biggest takeaway from 2024 as far as politics is concerned is that nobody gives a shit what celebrities think about politics because they're so completely out of touch. They don't realize like what my favorite is what the hell's Bill Maher saying, oh, inflation isn't that bad. The latest read from the Department of Treasury, the Treasury Department is blah blah blah. It's like, bitch, you're not doing your own grocery shopping. Sorry, that was...
Thankfully, people are not as brainwashed as 2020 made it out to be for me, as I saw it. And the end of this election, we actually saw a happy ending occur, and I didn't think that was going to happen. Not perfect. I've even made the argument that Trump is not the be-all, end-all in terms of like I would have preferred people like Kristi Noem or
the dog killer.
Even after the dog killing thing, yeah,
dog killing thing.
You haven't heard about?
Oh my God, you haven't heard Kristi Noem's psychotic dog killing story?
Wait, she told a dog killing story?
Yeah,
that
she wrote.
She wrote a book about it.
She wrote a book about. Okay, what happened?
She wrote a book, like an autobiography, and in the book she talks about how she put her dog down, and it's like the most. When I say put her dog down, like I'm making it sound like, her dog was sick and it's this humane thing to do.
No. It was just a dog that was acting up, and she's like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna shoot him."
Yeah. So
I think
psychotic.
I vaguely remember hearing about this.
Yeah, I'm surprised that she's actually getting a role because that kind of fucked her career up pretty bad.
That didn't affect my opinion on her.
Well, I mean, you just didn't hear about it, but maybe if you heard about it.
Yeah.
Now that I've heard about it, it didn't affect my opinion on her.
I'm not doing it justice. I'm really not.
The bigger litmus test for me is what is the response when the entire country is trying to shut down and implement authoritarian orders, and the governor decides, no, I'm not going to do that, and I'm going to have people decide.
I agree with you.
Not whether or not they shot a dog.
COVID definitely that.
Although shooting.
I don't promote that.
Not good.
But there are bigger issues going on than a dog being shot.
For sure.
COVID that really did show how fast people can become.
That was actually terrifying.
It was, yeah.
To see how quickly and how many people fell into line.
Exactly.
And those who didn't,
oh yeah,
the shaming, the public shaming, the whatever, being ostracized by even family. Then people who refuse to take a certain thing.
Well, that and this.
Yeah, people who refuse to take a certain thing and how death was wished upon them.
Oh yeah.
And even you had people in government who were talking down, like the othering of
100%
of people like me.
Well, that was
because I refused.
Yeah.
I'm glad my job didn't depend. Oh, and then the gaslighting that's occurring, trying to tell you now, you always had a choice. No, you did not have a choice. If you were told, do this or you're fired. That's not a choice. That's not a choice, y'all.
they want us to forget what happened because
Oh, the
people's
gaslighting is going on
memory
hard.
is
Yeah.
generally the pop culture memory is so short.
Yeah, well,
term.
I'll never
Well,
forget.
it's
And I will
everything gets
never
memory
fucking
hold.
forget what I'm from Illinois and I was there when it happened. I won't forget what that piece of shit prickster did to the economy. Killed all of the restaurants. This is just the small businesses. All of these restaurants that I loved, okay, that I frequented over the years.
Yep.
Okay,
Livelihoods
with my
destroyed.
friends
It's-
and had wonderful times.
Yeah.
There, even new ones. There was a place called Bar Taco that set up in my hometown. It was open until midnight. And that was the first fucking restaurant that ever did that. Served alcohol. It was great food, had a patio. It was like a restaurant out of, California or not to, give praise to California. But
when I get to Texas, I want to have some Tex-Mex, man.
Sure,
because
basically
New
what
York
I'm getting
State
at
does
is
not have a good taco game.
Yeah, the restaurant was basically in a kind of like a tropical themed
nice
restaurant is what I'm getting at. That fucking restaurant, that wonderful restaurant, closed down because of those goddamn shutdowns. Okay,
Well,
and that's just like one out of a few restaurants that I frequented.
Bro, I mean, dude, I lived in the global epicenter of this shit, and I mean, I can't purport to know what it was like to live in Nazi Germany, but I think it was pretty fucking
Well,
close
that
to New York
gave us
City
a little
in
bit of an
2020.
idea, didn't it?
It had traits.
You
It
know?
had traits. It
I love-
wasn't. It wasn't Nazi Germany, but
No,
you
it
just had
wasn't.
traits.
But
Papers, please, if you wanted to go,
Yeah.
go to a bar or whatever. I will. I want to shout out because I sure as hell hope to God that they reopen because it was such a fucking great restaurant. It used to be on the corner of 82nd and 3rd. This Turkish restaurant called Beyoğlu, and I know I'm butchering the Turkish pronunciation. I'm sorry to all my Turkish friends. Best fucking food. Like I live around a bunch of Turkish places, and it just that place just oh my god, they had this meze platter. It was just like you could get two things and come out of there stuffed stupid for like $30. It was so good, and they were a victim of the pandemic.
Well, you know what really sucks about the pandemic?
Yeah.
The after effects of it is that you know how many like really good stories you can tell about that period of time that will never be told just because it doesn't fit like that narrative. You know what I mean? Just like all the moral quandaries, like all these like different, there's just a lot of good stories that are out there that you can do.
Oh, 100%.
But they're never ever it's all going to be silenced unless it's about, well, if you didn't mask up, if you didn't get vaxxed, you're
right.
shit. Unless it's that, you can't tell the story,
Right. But I mean, I think people are waking up to it. I actually found an awesome website. I forget what it was called. It was like check your batch, and you can like put in the batch of your and what the adverse effects from that specific batch were. Pretty awesome. Google it.
Well, I don't have to worry about that. So
sure.
Yeah,
fair enough.
exactly.
I had to do it for my job, so it is what it is. But yeah, I didn't like the fact that I was whatever happened to My Body, My Choice.
I know, right? That wasn't that hilarious.
I was saying that, but the people were saying the response was, "Well, no, because that choice affects others.
It's affecting everybody." Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
I'll umbrella this conversation into abortion if you want to, because I can talk about anything.
We're already.
I did. I'm not.
No.
Yeah, clearly. I mean,
I mean,
trying to keep this movie centric, pop culture.
Sure.
But hey, Matt, by the way, the restaurant that closed down, Bar Taco, apparently is a chain, and there's one in Nashville.
Oh, really? Bar
there
Taco.
There you go.
Well, there is like absolutely zero good Mexican food here, so.
Wow.
They call it Bar Taco?
If I'm correct, Bar Taco, 2 words. Okay. If it's there and you happen to visit, let me know what you think.
Yeah, I mean,
it says it's 1 word.
Really? Okay. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah,
I want to get some good tacos when I get to Texas because New York. I'm sorry. I'm going to call this out. New York City does not have a good taco game. I'm sorry. Like the Mexican food here sucks.
It's only good in California and Arizona.
California, Arizona, Texas, like basically the closer you are to Mexico, the better the goddamn Mexican food is.
Yeah, true.
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, you can get good Mexican food anytime you want, right?
Although there are spots that can surprise you. There is a place in Chicago that I went during the shutdowns, by the way, because I happened to find one restaurant, Avalon, in Chicago Ridge, that stayed open. They defied those orders, so God bless them. And they had, and still do, amazing tacos.
How often were they taken to court?
I don't think that I'm not sure if that happened because I left Illinois at the end of 2020.
Have you been to California, Kyle?
No.
So you don't know what a good taco is then?
Have you been to Texas?
I have.
You've tried them? You don't think they're comparative?
I mean, I've been to Texas a handful of times, so I don't know if I can fully say that or not, but I would say it's comparable, but it's not up to like California and Arizona. But it's not as bad as out here or fucking New York or.
I've got a hot take actually. I think because this is a Texas chain, I think Freddy's is actually better than In-N-Out Burger.
Yes, and I'm from California and I love In-N-Out, but Freddy's is better.
Oh wow. Okay, I thought it was a hot take.
No, it is because like. To me, I really like In-N-Out, and it's good. The best thing about In-N-Out is the price.
Sure.
And it's also good. But
yeah, it's actually decent in Vegas, too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I'm going to be in Vegas next week. Amazing.
But
I'm going to get some In-N-Out.
Yeah, like it's, to me, I still, as much as I love In-N-Out, it still is overrated. And Freddy's, there's more variety at Freddy's. It's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was like, oh, this is a Texas chain. I've never been. I ended up really liking it.
I don't know about Freddy's, but there is an In-N-Out down the street from me.
It's good.
Interesting.
Have you guys been to Culver's?
Oh, yeah. That's in Illinois.
That's my favorite.
Interesting. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Well, Portillo's beats the crap out of Culver's, man.
Really? I've never been. I don't.
Portillo's. Yeah.
Let me see.
This turned from talking about movies. Now we're talking
about food,
delicacies.
Are you guys
food.
Like food?
I hope you audience members are sticking around because we're going to get back to movies in a second.
Yeah. I mean, what are the best? Oh, the best burger scene is in any movie is Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
good one. Yeah,
right. Can you think of a better one?
Oh man, it's like in the
that is one tasty burger.
It's a good one, man. I there's one on the tip of my brain that I'm thinking of visually. But...
Actors.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah,
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Regardless, it's up there, top 5.
That is one tasty burger. Got anything to wash this down? I gotta watch that movie again.
Okay, this is really random, but just because it's in my brain and I want to bring it up. Have you guys ever seen Riders for Justice?
No.
You should watch it. It's Mads Mikkelsen, whatever language, wherever he's from, I can't remember, but it's foreign language, subtitled, but you guys should watch that movie.
Oh, yeah, I remember seeing, I think I saw a trailer to this.
So good.
Yeah.
Riders for Justice.
Yeah, he's really growing on me.
He's good
as an actor.
Oh,
yeah,
he's great.
It's great.
Oh, he's fantastic. Oh, okay, so this is a foreign movie.
Yeah.
December 2020 release, or no, November 2020.
2020, that makes sense.
Yeah. I wish I'd seen it on the big screen, but I'm not sure if it came
Probably
to
not.
our area.
You know what movie I braved the unspecified virus of unknown origin to go see, and I'm sure Matt's gonna tear me a new one for liking this movie.
No shit.
Tenet. I saw that movie twice in theaters.
I hate that movie, but I understand that people like it. But I fucking hated that movie.
I figured.
Yeah, I tried. I didn't go see it on the big screen. I mean, I was happy that there was something playing on the big screen, but I did
Yeah.
try to watch it at home when it was available digitally, and I suffered through 30 minutes of that thing.
Yeah. The good thing about watching it
And
at home, though, is you can turn the subtitles on.
Or the
Yeah.
movie
will
off.
that help?
Yeah.
I mean, I was so confused, and my brain was just like, I can't
Yeah.
do this right now.
I mean,
Maybe I'll return to it, and then I just never have.
for me, it was like what the fuck just happened?
Something popped.
I mostly watched it because of
Yeah, one of my ice cubes
Robert
popped.
Pattinson.
That was
who
weird.
That's new. Are
Yeah,
you sure that's ice, man?
I mean,
Uh-oh.
so I have to make ice manually because my ice machine broke. But
What's really in the water?
I mean, it's watered down whiskey at this point. But no. So when I was watching Tenet and I went to go see it, I like masked up like an asshole, and I got like as I was watching the movie, I had the same feeling that I had when I was in the middle of watching The Matrix in the theater for the first time. I was like, I'm watching something special.
Yeesh.
I don't know. I really
do,
enjoyed
man.
Tenet. I know you guys disagree.
Tenet is like probably the most frustrating movie I've ever watched because you're just
Aside from Nolan's collection, just in general, you're saying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, okay, I will admit that it's Christopher Nolan too far up his own ass. 100%.
Yes,
absolutely.
Yes,
100%.
well, he was in Oppenheimer too.
Well,
That's why I'm not super in love with Oppenheimer.
I like Inception. I like Inception a lot.
Inception's a masterpiece.
But that being
Okay.
said, there's no denying, like literally, this is not an exaggeration. 92% of the dialogue in that movie is fucking exposition. It's just people constantly telling you what's going on.
In Inception or in Tenet?
Even in Inception.
I agree. It's intriguing. It's intriguing in the midst of action, and it's fast paced in a way that is well balanced.
I love the movie, but you can still some of Nolan's shortcomings kind of shine through in that movie, but it's at the apex in Tenet. Tenet is just like the thing about Tenet is the plot is actually not that complicated. It's just how he tells it. He makes it overcomplicated, and it's just frustrating to watch. It's like, dude, you didn't need to fucking do that. You could have just like made that more simple. But you're like you said, you're up your own ass. And
Yeah. No, I'll admit, I just like the concept of it.
It's a cool concept, but I do think that
The trailer was probably better than the movie.
I was
itself.
expecting them to do more like cooler things with the reverse stuff.
Yeah.
But like, if you actually watch it, like there are scenes where things are supposed to take place going forward, but all they had the actors do was just like run backwards. And then like, so I was expecting like crazy motion control rigs, like doing like multiple effect passes and like all this stuff.
Yeah.
It's not that. It's like it's like stupid how they did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what was confusing to me, is that it would have it both ways, where you would see motions that were one direction of time.
Yeah, like the scene that
you would have movements that were reversed.
Yeah, the scene that I'm remembering is
like, for example, what you would have John David Washington.
Yeah.
Okay. So he's moving forward most of the time, but then you would see him do movements that were clearly reversed footage of him doing a real-time movement.
Yeah.
So it would be confusing to me. Why aren't we seeing him move all the time in a way that evoked a reverse movement?
Yeah.
That scene
footage.
That
that's what was. It was not consistency.
When you get to the airport for the second, when you see the second side of it, and like they're in the firefighter outfits and they're running towards the terminal. Everything's in reverse in that part, and like, okay, that's cool because everything would be in reverse because they're introverted or whatever at that point. But you can tell the way that they did that was everything's running in reverse, and when they actually shot it, they started at the end position and just ran backwards. So we're seeing them run forward, but the running forward is clearly reversed. So it's like that's fucking stupid. Like it just.
But that's what I'm saying. So if you're going to commit to that,
yes,
And you could correct me if I'm wrong. There are shots of that character and others doing actions that are filmed in real time of just moving forward or doing their action without actually any reversal of footage. But then he picks and chooses certain
Correct.
that are reversed where they originally filmed them moving backwards, but then moves it forward to make it look slightly weird.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what was confusing.
Well,
So that's what I'm saying is, and you're right about this, is convoluted in a way that didn't need to be. But if you stuck consistently with what you were trying to do and simplified it, it could have ended up being a good movie.
Mm-hmm.
But because he fucking overly complicated it and confused it, in addition to his indecipherable audio mixing.
Oh, horrible.
Yeah, I mean, but that's a staple. It
got really bad, man.
Oh, I know. No, I completely agree. Has he ever addressed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he said, "Oh, don't give a shit."
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
but he did
paraphrasing.
He did bend the knee though when it came to The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, which you like to reference. Yeah, you did do that once.
Yeah, you guys have gotten into
go back to the people.
Yeah.
This is totally off topic of all that stuff. Have you guys seen Conclave?
No, but I know the ending, and that sounded dumb.
Yeah, I went into it suspecting the ending, and so when it happened, I wasn't surprised. I really enjoyed the movie. It's very well done. Like, you would never think there'd be so much drama watching a Conclave.
Yeah.
But it was very well written, very well acted, directed, edited, and then the ending reveal, which, like I said, didn't surprise me, but it was just like, oh,
and looking
this
at
feels agenda motivated.
If
I'd seen this 20, 30 years ago, maybe not, but it totally did.
Kyle, so the end is like one of the candidates for being the new pope, and the one that ends up being the pope at the very end is a tranny.
Well, no.
No. That's not real. You just made a joke.
He's not.
You literally just made a joke. Tell me you were just making a joke.
He wasn't. He wasn't. Hold on. But caveat. He really wasn't. He was intersex.
Oh no.
He was intersex, and he didn't find
out. Is this based on a true story or some shit?
No. But he's intersex, and he never knew. He didn't find out until So
this is
so he has like female parts, but he's intersex, and he never knew, because this has happened, obviously, and he's either intersex or he had an absorbed twin. They don't tell you specifically. You just put it together. Okay, it's one of those two. And so biologically, he is biologically a female. He's not like a trans, like you think of trans. He's not like I know he's not a trans like when you think of trans.
But you know what they're doing though.
But that's exactly my point. Yeah. I knew when it got to that, it's like, wow, I know exactly the reason you put this in here. This is all agenda. This is all messaging, and that taints the movie for me. Even though it was very solid up until then, but it was just like I
wanted to watch that because I saw it come up on my favorite High Seas website.
I mean, it's solid in a lot of ways, but that ending is just like
Red One and Heretic and Venom are up on.
Have you guys seen Heretic?
I haven't yet. Good. Okay. Bad.
Netflix.
I honestly, I trust Sin's recommendations.
I enjoyed Heretic. It was quite engaging because there was a lot of it was a lot of like, let's say, philosophical or theological type discussion going on between the character of Hugh Grant and the two girls, and I really enjoyed that, especially because you're already a little on edge because something bad is going to happen. Then, of course, the last part of the film deals with, what's really, it turns into like this thrillery type thing. A couple of times where a person, or at least one time specifically, where a person has an injury that should completely incapacitate them and die. That's like, but it's, I think that one's worth a watch.
Wait, so the other night, and I never wrote it down because I wrote it down in a
Warrior,
and it like, You
Was it
recommended me
Warrior?
Voyeur.
No,
Warrior.
warrior, as in
Warrior.
Oh,
war, with Tom
Warrior.
fighting.
Warrior with
Joel Edgerton?
Yeah.
what's his
Tom Hardy and Joel
Tom
Edgerton.
Hardy and Joel
That's
Edgerton and
a
Nick
great
Nolte.
fucking movie. That is a really good movie.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Love that
that is
film.
that is an
It's so
excellent film.
Nick Nolte in the role that should have gotten him an Oscar.
He
Yes.
absolutely should have gotten an Oscar
That movie
for
is
that.
so underrated. Like that is one of my favorite movies from the past 15 years.
That's in my top 10 list.
Yeah, it's
Matt, that scene in the hotel when he's listening to Moby Dick.
Oh
so good.
man.
Goddamn shit! I'm like, holy shit! Like where
yeah,
did he go?
Okay,
Where did
this
he
is where
go
he went.
to that
This is
level
where
of,
he
of
went.
performance?
He
It's
went to his
insane.
previous darkness because he's had substance abuse issues. That's where he went.
Yeah,
That's
he
how
went
he
to-
could tap into that so well.
He thought about behind the scenes of 48 Hours and like how he acted on set.
But the fact that you know,
It's so good. Oh, but he was just
it
heartbreaking.
was
Oh my goodness.
unbelievable that the level of just the guy looked like he was about to have a fucking heart attack.
He did.
And
for me, it's the scene where he shows up at Joel Edgerton's house and like he's like trying to ask for forgiveness. Oh,
that's
scene
every just
time.
like you completely understand why there's this divisiveness between him and his
sure, yeah.
kids. But you can also see he is trying so
Yeah.
hard, and yet they can't forget those scars. Oh, it's just heartbreaking.
Well, and then there's that one scene too where he's in that diner with Tom Hardy.
Yeah.
Talking, and then like he's convincing Tom Hardy's trying to convince him to train him. And then there's that like brief bit of dialogue where you see the old man come back in and he's like, the devil you know is the devil you don't.
Yeah.
It's really good the way he does it. And then Tom Hardy kind of like plays it off. He's like, yeah, it's really good. It's a good scene.
Yeah. There's so much about that movie.
That is
So
an
good.
excellent movie. The only thing that I don't like about that movie, and this is definitely a nitpick, is the training montage sucks in it. Because you see a sports movie, you want like a really good the training montage blows in that movie. I was disappointed at that. But
So I thought you were going to say the part about the kids trying so hard to get it to where they could broadcast the fight.
Nah,
that was a little.
That's whatever. But
it is what it is. It played out the way it was going to play out.
It was
I mean,
not
what else
enough
you
to
gonna do with
diminish
it?
the film. It's so
No,
totally
and it's-
and that final the climax of the
it's
movie.
good.
Holy cow!
I do want to know
Warrior.
Yeah, Warrior.
Warrior.
I do want to know what would happen if Tom Hardy fought Koba. I want to see that fight.
We know. Yeah, we didn't see that one.
Yeah. And it was cool seeing Joel Edgerton take him down, but still, like watching Tom Hardy fight.
Isn't he about to be in a movie called Carry On? Is that the same Joel Edgerton I'm thinking of?
Is Joel Edgerton in Carry On?
I don't know if he's in that.
Hold on.
Joel Edgerton
That's on
is a very
Netflix.
underrated actor. That guy's good.
He's so good. Have you seen the cop movie with him and oh gosh,
Will Smith.
no, the cop movie with Joel Edgerton.
Oh, sorry, Taron Egerton. Sorry, my bad.
Okay. The cop movie with him and the guy who played in Terminator Genesis as Kyle Reese.
Oh,
It's an Aussie film.
You're talking about Sam Worthington?
No. She's talking about Jason Clarke.
No. The guy who played Kyle Reese. That's not.
Oh
Jason
shit! I'm
Clarke.
sorry. Yeah, you're right. Kyle Reese. He
I
played.
can never think of his name.
Yeah,
Anton Yelchin?
He died.
No, the guy that they tried to
Anton
make
Yelchin.
a thing for years.
Bean.
He plays
Michael
He
Bean?
plays John McClane's son in Die Hard 5.
Oh, Jai Courtney, that guy.
Yeah,
they,
that guy.
They tried to make Jai Courtney happen for a few years, and wow, that did not work
Let me
out.
look up the name of that. That was a good movie. That cop movie. I'll look up the name of it.
Sucks, man.
Does anyone in the chat remember Jai Courtney, guys?
He
I think
played
deleted,
in.
I think does.
He played in the first Jack Reacher with Tom Cruise,
Which is probably his best role. Because
okay. It's
doesn't
called
talk.
Felony.
Like that's where he sits. He's in the henchman role.
Oh,
that's
that
where he
is
excels.
Mhm.
He is not
that guy
popular
sucks.
at all.
So keep him in Divergent, where he's a henchman. He's a bad guy, and he's a henchman in Jack Reacher. Like they tried to make him a fucking leading man, like Chris Pratt-esque. Like, what do you? Who made?
He's best as a
Terminator
side character.
Genesis, Kyle Reese.
Correct.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I was thinking of Terminator Salvation at first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Anton Yelchin can act circles around Jai Courtney,
Anton
even
Yelchin
after
could.
he's dead.
Could.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Because like Anton Yelchin, there's an actor that got cut down in his prime.
Poor guy.
Yeah, that sucks.
And
What
like
a freak,
that
ridiculous way.
that young man, I say young man, he died at 27, I think.
27 Club, baby.
Yeah, that guy has. First of all, they made a documentary that's one of the best. Love Antasha. If for those who haven't seen it, check that out because it's one of the best explorations on someone in the movie industry. And the lengths at which he went to keep going and keep performing, he had to do frequent routine basically like sucking out the phlegm from his throat. Cystic fibrosis, right, from his lungs.
He kept it
in order to keep going, and he didn't complain about it. He didn't talk about it. And that huge respect for that guy.
Yeah.
And he really didn't deserve what happened to him, which was totally unrelated to his disease. He just got hit by his own Jeep rolling down the driveway. It's fucking stupid. By the way, Matt, I say stupid nowadays, and I automatically think of you because you've now you've now solidified the way someone says stupid. Like you have this beat of silence before you say this thing that fucking sucked. Stupid.
Yeah,
dude, every time I say it to Megan, my wife, it's like I automatically think he's like, that's how Matt says it. That's how Matt says it.
I mean, I was watching Kraven the Hunter, and I'm like, I don't think I'm going to do this review justice until Hardcut does it.
Yeah, we're seeing that tomorrow night.
Nice.
Have you guys seen The Best Christmas Pageant Ever?
How is that? Because that's also on the high seas already.
That was actually quite good.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I enjoyed it, and I didn't expect that I would.
Did it receive a theatrical release or no?
It did, but it wasn't. You know how the movies aren't in theaters a very long time before they go to digital, so it's on digital already.
Right.
Well, speaking of Christmas movies, we have a comment from Megan the Texan that says, "Question for you guys: what is the best horror Christmas movie?"
Ooh,
Black Christmas.
Black Christmas, original, 100%.
I need to see that because
you haven't seen that.
No. So one thing I have to call out, I think, in my humble opinion, your best of Christmas video Hardcut has it's I think it's your best video ever.
Bobby cut that one, so props to Bobby. It was
because I told him, I'm like, this is your best one ever. I agreed with every single one. I think you missed two that are pretty damn good. Is one of my favorite Christmas. I guess it's a Christmas movie, The Family Man with Nicolas Cage.
You're right, and I saw that comment because that is actually I really like that movie too, but I just completely forgot about it.
And then and The Holiday.
If you have to watch a chick flick, that's like
that's the chick flick you want to watch.
It's one that's like you can stomach it.
But yeah, I mean, I love The Family Man. I watch Christmas Vacation and The Family Man on Thanksgiving night and Thanksgiving weekend every year.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, that movie was directed by dipshit Brett Ratner.
Yep.
And I gotta admit, guys, that Brett Ratner actually created a few movies that hold up, and they have elements and flows to them that make them really watchable, and rewatchable. Like I watched because I and maybe this will inform some live stream possibly because Bobby has talked about it, doing James Bond. I started going on this kick of watching James Bond movies for Pierce Brosnan, and then it just followed me to After the Sunset, which came out right after, a year after I think he did Die Another Day, and it almost acts as the retirement story to James Bond.
Yeah,
because his character is a thief and he's retiring for with his hot wife or girlfriend. Actually, the whole plot line there is they're writing their vows. Anyway, the movie has such a fun vibe and just a feel good time. and I think he was able to excel in that. But it couldn't write off all of the scumminess that he was doing, off screen.
Sure.
Brett Ratner.
Yeah, he sucks.
There, going back to Christmas horror, I actually have. It's not a movie, but it's something that I go back to frequently, and I want to talk to you, Paul, about this when we sit down when you come to Texas.
Let's do it.
Yeah, it's a.
Spoiler alert!
Yes. We are going to do a sit down in the vein of like Hard Cut, where it's two people, sitting in front next to each other, and I'll spoil it a little bit. It's one of the X-Files episodes.
Oh, Jesus! Like I don't remember them all, and I don't think I've caught them all.
I've seen them all, but I don't know if I'll remember it though.
Yeah,
I think
Is this a Christmas themed one?
Correct, but it's also done in a horror way.
I've seen them all, but I'm not sure
about. But like,
if Matt is looking it up, he'll find it pretty quickly because all he has to do is put horror X-Files Christmas in the search bar, and he's there.
I remember what you're talking about vaguely, but I was like 12. You know what I mean?
It's in season 6.
Yeah.
Dude, I have seen this, but I swear I don't remember this at all.
Dude, it's one. I'm telling you, like, by the way, I think season 6 is my favorite X-Files season.
Really?
Comprehensively, yeah, because they have so many just great episodes in that season.
I started watching the sort of like the reboot-ish thing that they did a few years ago, and I only got like 1 or 2 episodes in, and I just couldn't connect with it.
The magic was gone.
It was
in the
gone.
90s.
Yeah, the lightning
90s.
in the bottle wasn't there anymore.
So Kyle, going to season 6 of X-Files, is there a lot of the alien stuff in season 6?
There is, but they don't make it. What's great about season 6 is that it's so rife with. I think that's the correct word to use. It's stocked with so many standalone episodes that are so.
That's what I like
great.
best about X-Files.
There's an episode that is Groundhog Day-esque involving a bank robbery.
Yeah.
There's a 2-parter episode that deals with aliens in a way in which Mulder / David Duchovny switches bodies with a CIA or NSA agent.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't realize what happened.
You know what? You're convincing me. I think
that season is fantastic. Well, if you want to, but what I'm saying is, in order for us to talk about it, watch. Well, I'll just say what the episode. It's called "How the Ghost." Matt, correct me. It's "How the Ghost Stole Christmas."
Yeah,
yeah. It's season 6, episode 6, I believe.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Okay.
I recommend that to everyone to watch.
It's a standalone. I could just watch.
It's a great standalone. You don't need to. You don't even need to watch X-Files to like anything after or before it to know
pretty much
enjoy that.
Pretty much anything with X-Files you can watch standalone except for the alien subplot. Like that is the one.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Same thing with Supernatural. That's when it was good. Was when it was standalone.
I don't know. I what was one of my favorite episodes? I mean, all the alien stuff in X-Files was awesome.
Oh, it's fucking great.
Man.
That's a good movie too. Fight the Future, the first X-Files. That's a good.
I haven't seen it in a while, but
it's
damn,
good.
Wait.
I remember it was that's a
the
pretty
first X-Files movie or the second one?
First one.
Oh, the
from
first one
96.
was fantastic.
about I Want to
Is
Believe.
that the one with the bees?
Yes, the bees and the.
And it was like the beginning scene was in Antarctica, where it was like the little pasture.
Well, no, the movie opens with cavemen.
Yeah,
finding the alien.
Okay. Right. Yeah, God damn, I haven't.
It's the first movie to do like the black goo thing that Prometheus stole.
Yes.
But X-Files, I Want to Believe, that came out in 2008, played around with trans issues before it was popular.
Oh, that's
no one remember that?
Yeah.
Head replacement of this guy's boyfriend onto a woman's body.
Oh no, I don't remember that.
I mean, does anybody remember Dr. Jekyll and Ms. Hyde?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember that
Do
movie?
do you guys remember the movie with Michael Caine, and Angie Dickinson, and maybe Nancy Allen that deals with that issue?
Oh, Dress to Kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a De
Yeah.
Palma film. Brian De Palma.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually never seen it.
Well, I never forgot it because of that reveal at the end, which, you know,
It's a famous reveal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another
stuck with me.
Another 90s sci-fi show I want to just call out real quick is Sliders.
Jerry O'Connell.
They're so good.
I watched that when the flu was ravaging my body several years ago, like 2012 to 2013.
Yeah.
Like New Year's and into the new year.
The first season was
There was nothing I
great.
could do but just sit and suffer. So I
Yeah.
watched that entire season, that entire show, not season. It
Oh,
really
wow.
went downhill.
Oh yeah.
The
100%.
later,
the first
first
season
few
was fantastic.
Yeah, were fun.
I like the one pandemic, and I still haven't finished it because there's so many damn episodes. Was The Next Generation, Star Trek? I watched that during the pandemic.
Oh, I never got into that. I'm not a Trekkie.
I've never seen it either.
It's Star Trek: The Next Generation, the one with Patrick Stewart. It's actually pretty damn good.
That sounds like a big commitment, though.
It is, and it doesn't like the first season.
That's the
Was
thing
actually,
with
You must have thought the shutdowns were going to go on for years and years and years.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I what was my pandemic experience? I was like, oh yeah, you guys are like when I was at work. They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go fully remote now, and I'm like, what? That's so fucking stupid. And then I'm like, oh fuck, I don't have a choice. I guess I can't. Like they deactivated our IDs to get in the building, and then I'm like, whatever. I guess I'll stick it out. And then media, of course, over sensationalized it. It's like, oh, the military's delivering supplies to Manhattan. I'm like, well, time to get the fuck out of here. I've seen this movie before.
Mm-hmm.
But then I came back 2 months later, and it was the funniest thing. I like to run. I didn't used to, and I'm out for a run, and I'm going like in the park outside, and this lady's like, "You're not wearing your mask," and I'm like, "That's because I'm fucking exercising and doing cardio." Like,
bitch,
what the fuck? I love the statistic that Joe Rogan always put out. 78% of all COVID deaths were comorbidities. So,
yep,
fat or obese people.
That's on top of the fact that it's like a less than 0.02% mortality rate or whatever. So
yeah.
I was watching the numbers and crunching the numbers pretty much every day.
Same.
In the early days, and we actually like leveled off and flattened the curve
right
quite early on. So yeah, and that's if you even believe all of the reporting
CDC
on
data,
the numbers.
No,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, isn't that funny that like the party of science, like they weren't actually following their own.
They were denying even things like natural immunity, which is and the whole thing about immunity and being exposed to something and developing antibodies and you get immunity. That's the whole thing that vaccines are based on.
Paul, this video is demonetized. So.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
100%.
We delved into that
Which
territory.
word triggered it, though?
Let's just go all in. And so, I guess when the hell did I move into this? I moved here 7 years ago. In my last place, I was friends with a guy. So it's like way pre-pandemic. Because I'm very gregarious. I'll start a conversation with pretty much anybody, and I made friends with one of the dudes in my old building because I used to live with basically in hospital housing. Just by happenstance, the hospital owned half the building, and one of the guys was a resident at Lenox Hill, and I'm like, oh, what's your specialty? He's like, oh, I'm doing infectious diseases, and in my mind, I'm like, well, that's a stupid fucking subspecialty of medicine. Whatever. Lo and behold, a few years later, so I got ridiculously sick all of December 2019. Like, I basically got super duper sick right after Thanksgiving, kind of got better, went skiing, and then like got really fucked by New Year's. And I spent New Year's alone. And then this dude who was an infectious diseases physician was like, yeah, dude, I got super sick in January. So this shit was running around long
Oh,
before
I heard
March.
about it on the radio on Coast to Coast in December of 2019.
Yeah, and so besides that, one of my other friends, he switched specialties, but he was working in the ER at Queen's Hospital, like the fucking global epicenter of this thing, and he was seeing cases of weird pneumonia in October of 2019. Treatment resistant. So this shit got out of the lab and over the summer. It made its way up, and oh shit. I'm getting I'm getting shit over text about this.
Well, even to talk
Stop
about
talking
stuff
about that. Talk about movies.
even
right?
the stuff about like
okay. So if you want to bring it back to movies,
yeah,
the movie Contagion is actually so.
Ooh,
Dude,
good workaround there.
So I just got a package in the mail today, which I have not opened yet. And when I open it,
Holy shit!
Wait, is that a 4K?
That's what you call synchronicity.
there you go. I haven't opened it yet. I just got it in the mail today.
By the way, we did not plan this, audience. That was completely that's an examination of like interconnected. Look at that. That's cool.
Oh, that's funny. So, but you do know what that movie is based off of, right? Okay. Let me educate you. But when Obama first came in 2009, he commissioned I guess the CDC or somebody to do
swine flu.
A whole report about deleted. Yeah, we're totally demonic.
Well, 2009 H1N1 happened and no one fucking batted an eye. And
No.
No.
But the reason why that is, if the same thing happened then today, it's because of social media. That's like if social media was as prevalent as it is now back then, there would have been lockdowns and shit. The same thing would have happened. They would have had that control.
I don't think so.
Fucking it.
It's a good point. It's a good point. I was asking these questions on Facebook.
I got
in
H1N1.
In 2020, I was posting these questions. Literally, I was making like memes and posting it to people. And people that were connected to me on Facebook in the movie industry fucking unfriended me because I was just questioning the narrative. Where's the mass panic that happened in 2009 for H1N1?
Correct.
A couple of responses like, well, it's not of the level that it was back then, and more people are going to die.
I think the mortality rate was similar, if not worse. But the thing is that COVID was just more transmittable, I think. But there was still, in terms of like mortality, very similar. I could be wrong. I don't fucking know. But yeah,
no, but it's a legit, it's a good theory, man.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
But so bringing it back to cinema. The movie so Obama commissioned this report of like pandemic preparedness, blah, blah, blah. And so some filmmaker, whoever the hell did the movie Contagion. David Soderbergh took that. Steven Soderbergh.
What did you say, Paul?
David?
Oh, David.
Yeah. One of them. Anyway, they took that report and like basically made it into a movie. But the thing that I took away from the movie is that the reason for the pandemic was because Gwyneth Paltrow cheated on her husband.
Yeah. You know that in the beginning, when she's talking to the guy who she's banging, that's Steven Soderbergh's voice.
Oh, right? I thought you were reaching into like real life where she cheated on
no,
singer. No. Didn't she date him?
Chris Martin?
Yeah.
They were married.
They amicably separated.
Okay, yeah, for him to go fuck Jennifer Lawrence, yeah. I mean, I don't blame him.
Chris Martin,
but
Chris Martin was hooking up with Jennifer Lawrence.
They did it for a short period of time before she jumped over to Aaron Aronofsky.
Wait.
Darren Aronofsky.
Wait, so oh yeah, that's right, because Aronofsky was with Rachel Weisz, and then she cheated on him with Bond or Daniel
Craig, right?
Which
really.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't know this? This incestuous, interconnected Hollywood web?
I mean, I know they all
Of
fuck each other,
romances?
but like,
Yeah.
I wasn't aware.
Rachel Weisz used to fuck Darren Aronofsky. Now she's
no,
married
I knew
to Daniel Craig, James Bond, and then Darren Aronofsky went to go fuck Jennifer Lawrence because she was doing Mother, and then right after that movie was done, he or she quit that, and then she moved on to this art dealer dude who only wears white T-shirts all the time. Apparently, I find that interesting. And then had kids with him, and now she's like, she, I don't know what happened, but she's very dour a lot of the time. Her energy just went from here, like zany, I'm energized in interviews and let's have some fun, to like she takes herself like so seriously now.
I got a very personal Jennifer Lawrence story. So the very day that I tore my ACL at the climbing gym, I actually, on my way to the climbing gym, I actually saw Jennifer Lawrence pass me.
Yeah,
I
you
looked
mentioned
at
this
her,
before.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I think I remember seeing
and
that.
she looked at me, and she knew that I knew that she knew, and it's just like, all right, just it's fucking 9 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, like let's just keep going.
Question: was she wearing a white T-shirt?
I mean, it was late December, so I don't think so.
I once saw Winona Ryder in Los Angeles in the mid 2000s, and she was leaving a jewelry store.
Had she stolen
interesting.
anything?
I'm surprised no alarm.
Oh, no. She was stealing clothes when she was stealing.
Yeah,
from
she
people.
walked into that jewelry store
I'm
and
sorry,
realized there
Saks
are no
Fifth
clothes in
Avenue.
here. That she just left.
Yeah.
Just was
Winona Ryder. I mean, there's
saw
there's a character right there.
Martin Cove in Vegas a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
no kidding.
Yeah, I was in Vegas for work, and we were at the Horseshoe, and it was the night of the Tyson fight. And I was with my group of people,
Yeah.
the people I work with, and couple of our authors were there. And I'm sitting beside one of our voice actors, and we're talking, and Martin Cove and some guy, they just walk right up and start talking to some people like they knew each other, people in our group. And I I just grabbed the guy next to him. I was like, and he said, yes, that is. Because he was just like
funny.
right there. And then they took off with some of our authors. That
Vegas
was just
wise,
so random. It was like, and then I found out later that,
very random.
well, he had been at the Tyson fight. Ralph Macchio had been at the Tyson fight. I thought that was
cool.
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually got my own Vegas celebrity sighting. 5 years ago, I went camping up in California, but I flew into Vegas. And usually my MO, I land at the airport, go get a car, go to Target, and go to REI, and then back off to the mountains. And at REI in Las Vegas, I'm like getting whatever camping food and whatever the hell, and I see fucking Carrot Top.
Oh, well, he does perform there still.
And his face is just stuck in the same position.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just the weirdest thing. I was just like, holy shit, that's Carrot Top. But I didn't want to engage with him at all. It was just like an oddity.
To me, the legacy of Carrot Top is going to be what Norm Macdonald left in the 90s when he was on Conan O'Brien talking about that Chairman of the Board movie and doing all those jokes. That's what Carrot Top's legacy is going to be. This guy who's supposed to be a comedian was outdone by another comedian, and that's going to be his legacy because that was an epic. Just, you didn't see this clip?
I know.
It's the actress.
Is that the one with
Courtney, I think Matt
Courtney-
knows what I'm talking
Courtney,
about.
I think I did a reaction to that.
If you look up Conan O'Brien, the actress who is in that movie with Carrot Top is being interviewed, and Norm Macdonald is off to the side on the couch and makes multiple jokes at the expense of Carrot Top, and it's hilarious. The movie is called Chairman of the Board, and this is just one of the jokes, and this is a tame one. He said, "I bet board is spelled B-O-R-E-D." Oh, and that's just the tip of the. Like, you got to watch the whole clip.
Raquel Welch. Yeah, I'm looking at it.
Norm Macdonald was one of the greats.
He was. He was.
I mean, he's still alive, isn't he?
No.
Wait, what?
Dude, where have you been?
Dude, he died a couple years ago. You didn't know this?
I think Matt wants to leave now after that.
Wait.
Like,
Oh my
what
God!
the
Are you
fuck?
serious,
September
Paul?
2021.
Dude, I thought you were joking for a
died.
second.
He
Wait,
had
you're
cancer.
not fucking around? Like you
Oh,
you
that-
No,
He
he's
didn't
serious.
know.
Oh shit.
Oh, that's fucking terrible. He was really funny.
Yeah.
He was.
Oh,
So we didn't
damn.
talk about it. It's similar. Like all the greats, the guys that are worth respecting and have actually brought some artistic integrity to their work are the ones that don't talk about their illnesses.
Billy
Yeah,
Madison.
they just die one day.
Anton Yelchin, I've just referenced him earlier. He's
Yeah.
another guy who didn't talk about it.
Mm,
Black Panther actor, I forgot his name.
Chadwick
Chadwick
Boseman.
There you go. He
He's
didn't talk about
right
his
over
cancer.
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at Norm Macdonald's. Yeah, Billy Madison. Obviously, Dirty Work was a great movie.
Well, it's more his comedy, his appearances on talk shows, and his stand up.
Yeah. I mean, so the one thing that a lot of people, because I have a Polish background, everybody always sends me Norm
Makes sense.
Macdonald making fun of Polish people, and I'm like, fuck you guys.
Now there's a clip that goes around with him where he's like talking to a friend of his, and he's like, "Hey, so what do you like to drink besides fucking jizz?" It's just. I used that clip in the Alien Romulus review, and then I cut to a picture with David with the white blood coming out of his mouth.
What's great about Norm Macdonald is he does this adolescent humor, but delivers it in an adult manner.
Yes,
and he somehow makes it mature in like paradoxical way. That's what was great about him. He was able to do that. You know,
he's just having a normal conversation with his friend, and he just throws that in there.
Yeah,
it's so fucking hilarious.
Yeah, one of the grades. Yeah. Anyway, this was
your camera is display. You're so drunk right now, Paul, that you're just went into blur mode.
I made the really bad mistake of, because I've been off wine for a while, and I'm like, I got some pizza, and I was like, well, I got this open bottle of wine from my party the other night. I'm like, I'm gonna have some, and it ended up completely annihilating me. So anyway, best of 2024. We didn't mention Deadpool and Wolverine, but I think we've talked that one to death.
That's going to be my number one.
It's one of the good ones. Yeah,
that's going to be my number one for the year. I do believe.
Yeah.
One of the reasons I think we talked about in this conversation so much about the shutdowns in 2020, and we saturated this conversation so much with it, is because I think there was a degree of
we're getting views from it.
What?
Well, we're getting views from Deadpool and Wolverine. At least I was.
No, I'm talking about what in this conversation right now about the 2020 shutdowns.
Oh, geez.
Why we talked about it is because I think we're leaving 2024 and we're leaving this shit administration, and it's a cathartic conversation.
100%.
That's why it naturally happened this way. Like we didn't come on here with the intention of talking about 2020, but it just happened.
We came on with the intention of talking about 2024 movies.
Yeah,
and we did. But there's also since this is the last stream for you on 2024, it's like we're out of here. This is like we're turning over a new page because that administration. Well, granted, it happened under Trump, but like the incoming administration inherited and continued those shutdowns, and it was like, okay, and more shit and bad shit happened, and now we can move on from it.
Thankfully. We can, hopefully. I don't know. I've moved on 3 years ago.
Anyway, yeah. Deadpool Wolverine is one of the better movies that came out this year. Not the best plot line in terms of
but you know what? I didn't give a crap because it was so much fun. That was the thing, and I mentioned that in my review. It just the fun factor was way up here for me.
Oh yeah,
on that movie.
I saw that movie 5 times on the big screen.
Oh damn, nice.
So that's how I knew
super damn good.
That was going to be my number one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what I like better, Dune 2 or Deadpool and Wolverine. I think entertainment factor, Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah, Dune's not even going to make my top. I'm just not super into
I
it.
still have to see Substance.
So good.
Yeah, that's definitely not going to make my. I think my number 2. I'm not. Before I saw Deadpool and Wolverine, my number 1 was going to be the Bike Riders.
That was a good one.
I know we've talked about that some, and then my number 2 at the time is going to be Sing Sing, which I really
I need
enjoy.
to see that because
that's a really good
it's on
one.
my watch list. I need to check it out.
But now I've seen Nosferatu, so I think that one's going to squirm its way into the
Okay.
top 10 list.
We're
I'm
gonna
not
keep
sure.
rubbing it in.
I am not, honestly. I am not. I want to talk about it, but it's just on my brain. That's how it's made an impact on me.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. So
That fucking mustache.
I'm looking forward to watching it on the big screen.
Is this online right now, by the way? If I look this up, would I be able to see?
Well, no, it's not.
Nosferatu? No.
Did you guys see the link that I posted in the private chat? That's kind of like, that was an audiobook that we produced. That kind of reminds me of his
Which I actually want to buy the book. Should I do the audiobook to hear your voice, or should
I did not. The work that I did on that was I proofed it. I did not
okay.
lend
So-
my voices to
So
it.
what you're
My
saying is I should just buy the hardcover.
I would never have
I mean, I'd
chosen
like-
to read the book on my own, but when I worked on the audio of it,
Oh,
I
got it. Okay.
enjoyed the absolute heck out of it. It was so good.
Okay.
But I would never sit down and read it.
Because it like for me, I read a really fun book called Go Go Girls of the Apocalypse, and it was pretty fucking good. And this kind of has that similar vibe. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get this book after you suggested it.
Dracula's old. It's old school.
No. What I'm Dungeon.
Well, Dungeon Crawler Carl. I
Yeah.
was talking about Dracula. Dungeon Crawler Carl is a whole different thing.
Yeah. That's what I was talking about. Okay. Well, anyway.
No, I had put a link up to Dracula that we produced the audio for. On the cover, it is a picture that reminds me a bit of.
Yeah, the
Bill
mustache.
Skart.
Mustache looks similar for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. My sister doesn't want to see it, but I guess I'll go by myself. Fuck it, because I really want to see Nosferatu.
Yeah, I'm going on Christmas Day.
Yeah,
Watch it.
yeah. I mean, I think I might do a double feature with the Bob Dylan movie.
Oh, well, you have fun with that Bob Dylan one.
I loved.
I know he just does. I got the screener for it and was like, nah.
I'm so. Can you send me the screener?
I'm not going to do that. I don't want to get in trouble, but
I know.
You know how many screeners? Oh my gosh! It's award season, you guys. I had to create a spreadsheet. It's ridiculous the amount of screeners that I've gotten. I will not be able to watch them all, but I just remember that was one of them. I also got a screener for Am I Racist? But I've already seen that.
Yeah,
I saw that on the big screen. That's worth a watch if you guys haven't seen that yet.
I think we've all seen it.
Yeah,
actually, I haven't seen it.
Yeah,
you should watch.
One of the
Matt, what are you
things
doing?
that Daily Wire has made a choice on made some good decisions on.
Yeah.
Am I Racist? Everything else.
What are you talking
I
about?
haven't watched any of their other stuff.
Lady Ballers, man.
Lady Ballers, Brett Cooper fucking saying adios. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
People leaving, people getting fired. I mean,
let's not talk about that one.
Put him on the spot. Why don't you?
Just so nobody gets in trouble. What have you got going on, Sin?
I recently put up a review for The Man in the White Van, which is a Legion M production that is getting ready to hit the big screen this weekend. Legion M is a fan-funded production company, which I bought into actually years ago. So I watched it just because the premise interested me. And so that review just went up. I'm going to put my review up for Craven and Nosferatu within the next week. And I want to do an audio review for September 5th.
Is your Nosferatu review going to be spoilered?
No, but if you've seen the original film.
Okay. Got it. Okay. Matt, what have you guys got going on?
So we just released our Gladiator 2 review. And
Freaking awesome. I loved it.
How did you not talk about Spencer Tree Clark?
Dude, like it was funny because when we wrapped, we were like, dude, we didn't even mention that once because we wanted to mention it and then like throw you in there, but the conversation didn't go that way. But so we just released that, and right now Bobby's cutting our review for Y2K, and then we're
Oh,
Oh.
you actually saw that?
Bless your
Yeah.
heart for suffering through that. I saw Rachel Zegler was going to be in it, and it was a hard pass. No thanks.
You know,
I'll watch your review before I watch.
I'll give you a little preview
Do
real
it.
quick. The beginning of the film is actually not that bad. Like the
That's
stuff.
what I heard.
Yeah, it's like because I'm a product of that time period, so they actually captured the '90s very well. And
They're not pandering.
no,
Right.
no, like
Oh.
that was my whole thing. It's like, how can like Gen Zers play people from the '90s? Like because back in the '90s, you would insulted your friends. You
Yeah.
know, people were assholes. It was fucking great. And there are those kinds of characters in the movie, like
Interesting.
dickheads and like people
Well, that's probably
heckling in the
because of
background.
the writing, not the acting.
Well, the actors are fine. Like, see, I know Rachel Zegler sucks, but I actually don't think she's like the worst actress in the world. She just has that because of Snow White and all that stuff that everyone fucking hates her guts.
She just needs to shut up in public. That's all.
Yeah,
she needs
but
to do.
she's fine. You
She's
know, I mean,
fine. Yeah.
like she's not like no one's horrible in the movie, or but
Interesting.
there's a little bit of like agenda stuff in there, but it's not that bad. But the movie sucks. Like once the Y2K stuff starts, it blows. It's fucking retarded. But yeah, so that's being worked on right now, and then we got we're seeing whatchamacallit tomorrow, Craven tomorrow. So.
Nice. And me and Kyle, I guess, have an announcement. We're gonna do a little.
I think at this point everyone fucking knows, man.
Yeah.
It's like we're beating a dead horse at this point.
I
Me
know.
and Paul is going to come to Austin, Texas, where I am, and we're going to sit down and have a in-person discussion, and we're going to mine a few topics that will become separate videos.
There you go. All
That's
right.
cool.
All right. Well, final 2024 live stream. I think I did pretty well. I think it was about one a month. Hopefully I get a little bit more next year. And
yeah, I did notice, dude, you crossed 3K subscribers.
Yeah,
like last month or so.
Because I'm cheating.
So good on you.
But whatever.
I know what you're doing, but
Whatever.
It still happens.
Doesn't matter. In the words of what's his name, Vin Diesel, doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
Winning's winning.
Oh, jeez.
What I know, Sin. I know you hate those movies, but I love stuffing potato chips into my brain.
Oh, I can't. I usually don't.
Well,
it's very rare that I
yeah.
do.
Happy 2024, everyone, and I wish everybody a Merry Christmas and an even better New Year, full of amazing content that we can get views off of.
Growth, prosperity, and learning some new things.
Yeah.
Happy
2025, everybody. Bye.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.
Cheers.